Chapter 2274. Not good. The sudden change made Hong Yu's face change. She was not weak, so she could naturally find the terrible energy contained in the cold light. In her current state, if she was hit by the cold light, she would be disabled even if she did not die. Ning Yu. Hong Yu retreated while looking at Ning Yu incredulously and exclaimed, "What the hell is going on?" Hong Yu couldn't understand. Why was it that after the red bead her uncle had given her shattered, a blood-colored cold light would shoot out and attack her? She knew. Not only her, but also Ning Yu, the Dark Emperor Hong Mo and Du Shiyong. If she did not absolutely trust Ning Yu, she would probably think that the blood-colored cold light was done by Ning Yu. "Where are you going?" Ning Yu did not answer Hong Yu's words. He growled, and immediately the energy in his body wrapped around his fist, and he punched back. Boom! In a split second, the fist light and the blood-colored cold light collided. Suddenly, blood splashed everywhere. Swoosh! However, at the moment when the blood-colored cold light dissipated, a Heavenly Lord's talisman suddenly appeared. Puff! Ning Yu grabbed the Heavenly Lord's talisman firmly in his hand before it exploded. Who? After controlling the Heavenly Lord's talisman, Ning Yu took a long breath and showed a look of relief. Fortunately, until now, Ning Yu still had some fear. Fortunately, the first target of the Heavenly Lord's talisman was Hong Yu, not him. Otherwise, even if he tried his best, he might not be able to subdue the Heavenly Lord's talisman. There was no other reason. This Heavenly Lord's talisman was completely different from the one taken out by Yang Ming and Crane Wuming. Yang Ming and Crane Wuming's Heavenly Lord's talisman might be able to fight against the top 1,000 powerhouses on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. However, the power of this Heavenly Lord's talisman was enough to kill the peerless evildoer ranked in the top 50 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Hong Yu was stunned, and her eyes were dull. She had figured it out. The red bead was a life-saving magic treasure given to her by her uncle. Obviously, his life-saving magic treasure had been tampered with. As for whether he was her uncle or not, that remained to be seen. However, there was one thing that was certain. There was a mole in the Hong family of the brilliant Void Weave. I must get to the bottom of this. Hong Yu clenched his fists, and his face was extremely cold. As the saying went, when a woman was angry, it was exceptionally terrifying. Hong Yu's current appearance was extremely terrifying. Don't even think about finding out. Even if your strength doubled, it would still be useless. Ning Yu accepted the Heaven Monarch talisman as a matter of course and said indifferently, "Your opponent is far more terrifying than you can imagine." Hong Yu was stunned at first, then asked, "How terrible is it?" "It's scarier than the corpse I gave you," Ning Yu said. Hiss. Hearing this, Hong Yu gasped directly. Stronger than a half-step Heaven Monarch realm heavenly demon? Didn't that mean that her opponent was a Lord of Heaven? Hundreds of thousands of years ago, there was indeed a Lord of Heaven in the Hong family. However, since the end of the human demon war tens of thousands of years ago, the Lord of Heaven of the Hong family had also disappeared. Could it be that the Lord of Heaven of the Hong family was still alive? What are you thinking about? Hurry up and get ready to go deeper into the Xia Yun Valley with me. Ning Yu patted Hong Yu on the shoulder and said, "This place is about to collapse. If we don't go now, the consequences will be unimaginable." Collapse? Hong Yu was puzzled. If I'm not mistaken, in the deepest part of the Xia Yun Valley, Lord of Heaven Kuba has already started to take action. Ning Yu explained, once Lord of Heaven Kuba takes away all the heavenly demon corpses in the Xia Yun Valley, the entire Xia Yun Valley will completely collapse. Swish. Hong Yu's expression changed slightly. She hurriedly took out a crystal ball from her bosom and crushed it. Crack. After the crystal ball was broken, Hong Yu said in a deep voice, "I have informed the bald martial artist outside the Xia Yun Valley. As soon as we leave, he will come to our rescue." "No problem." Ning Yu shrugged and immediately jumped up. He was the first to rush into the depths of the Xia Yun Valley. Although the bald martial artist's strength was not too strong, Ningyu understood the principle of ants biting an elephant to death. After many powerful heavenly demons entered the Xia Yun Valley, those heavenly demons in the evil spirit battlefield would definitely seek refuge with the bald martial artist. At that time, thousands of heavenly demons would attack together. Even the peerless genius ranked in the top 50 of the Lord of Heaven's substitute list would have to think twice. "I'm going to wait for you." "Wait for me." Seeing Ningyu leave, the Dark Emperor couldn't help but swear. He and Hong Yu swallowed Yang Ming quickly, then they sped up and left behind Ningyu. "No matter who you are, in short, I must find you." Hong Yu's expression was cold. She stomped her feet, and her figure flashed as she chased after them. Swish! With Ningyu taking the lead, the Dark Emperor, Hong Yu, Du Shiyong, and Hong Yu following behind, they advanced rapidly. After walking for about 10 minutes, a small river suddenly appeared in front of them. Illusion? Ningyu stared at the river, his brows furrowed. "This river is real, it's not an illusion." The Dark Emperor straightened his head and looked at the river. He said doubtfully, "Ningyu, is your head rusty? You can even misjudge this? Get lost." Ningyu kicked the Dark Emperor's butt, causing him to fall to the ground. Plop! The Dark Emperor swam like a dog paddle in the small river, having a great time. "Why don't you let me try?" Hong Yu saw through it more clearly. He stared at the forest on the other side of the river and said, "I'm a sword spirit. This level of illusion shouldn't be difficult for me." Ningyu shook his head slowly and said, "You still underestimated this illusion." "Underestimated?" Hong Yu was slightly startled and said in confusion, "That forest should be an illusion. What do you mean by saying that I underestimated it?" "Look again." Ningyu waved his right hand gently in front of Hong Yu and pointed at the forest once more. Hong Yu's gaze shifted to the forest. This glance caused Hong Yu's expression to change drastically. The original forest had long disappeared without a trace. In exchange, it was a boundless desert. "It is indeed extraordinary." Hong Yu's expression turned extremely solemn. He admitted that he had indeed underestimated the illusion. If not for Ningyu's reminder, he would have definitely fallen into the illusion. "What do we do now?" Hong Yu hesitated. "You guys enter the Red Demon Sword. I'll go alone," Ningyu said. "No, I can't let you take the risk," Hong Yu said in a deep voice. "Your strength is at the forefront. If even you fall into it, then all of us will die." "Then what do you think we should do?" Ningyu looked at Hong Yu and said calmly. For now, it was best for him to explore the illusory realm. As for Hong Yu, Dark Emperor, Du Shiyong, and the others, they were all useless. To be honest, asking them to explore the illusion was no different from sending them to their death. Hong Yu was speechless. She really didn't have a good idea. "Isn't that enough? You guys enter the storage ring first." Ningyu waved his hand and said indifferently, "When I break through the illusion, I will naturally let you guys out." Chapter 2275. Swoosh. The first person to enter the Red Devil Sword was the Dark Emperor. He leaped out of the small river and entered the Red Demon Sword. Swoosh. Swoosh. After that, the Red Devil and Du Shiyong entered the Red Devil Sword. Be careful. The last person to enter the Red Devil Sword was Hong Yu. She reminded Ningyu before stepping onto the ground and entering the Red Demon Sword. After keeping the Red Devil Sword, Ningyu took a deep breath and walked towards the river. Ningyu seemed to be walking very slowly, but he was actually very fast. He took only 1 second to cross the river. Swoosh. As soon as Ningyu crossed the river, there was a sudden change. The illusion of a desert changed again, turning into a huge mountain. Open! Ningyu clenched his right hand into a fist and punched out with a violent Yuan Qi gale. Crack! 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 Under Ningyu's attack, the mountain cracked open, and a huge crack appeared in the middle. "General Nan, go and see what's going on." on the other side of the mountain. An old man in a gray robe frowned and waved his hand. "Why is the illusion I set up loosening?" "Yes," General Nan responded and immediately flew toward the mountain. If anyone was there, they would have noticed that there were many graves opposite the old man in a gray robe. There was a talisman on each grave. Heavenly Lord Talisman. It was obvious that the talismans on the graves were terrifying Heavenly Lord talismans. These useless things are all dead, but they still left me a problem. The old man in a gray robe was none other than Heavenly Lord Kuba. He stared at the graves with a cold expression and said fiercely, "I originally wanted to leave your corpses intact and only devour the energy in the corpses. It seems like there's no need for that now." As soon as Heavenly Lord Kuba finished speaking, he dashed toward the tomb closest to him. Smack! He stretched out his right hand and grabbed the Heavenly Lord talisman. Such a weak Heavenly Lord talisman. It seems like you weren't much when you were alive. Heavenly Lord Kuba curled his lips. He lifted his right leg and stomped hard on the grave. Kacha! A clear and crisp sound rang out. The Scythian's corpse in the tomb was crushed to pieces. I didn't guess it wrong. A half-step Lord of Heaven trash. The devouring power in Heavenly Lord Kuba's body was unleashed. In an instant it devoured all the heavenly fiend corpses in the tomb. Whoosh! After devouring a heavenly demon's corpse, Heavenly Lord Kuba did not stop. He continued to devour the second heavenly demon's corpse. Rumble! Meanwhile, on the other side, General Nan had crossed the mountain and faced Ningyu. "There's a path to heaven, but you don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but you barge in." General Nan stared coldly at Ningyu and said fiercely, "I'll give you a chance to live. Surrender, kneel down and kowtow to me, Xiao." Without waiting for General Nan to finish the word kowtow, Ningyu leaped up and punched at General Nan. "If you want to fight, then fight. Why talk so much nonsense?" Ningyu had already sensed the terrifying energy fluctuations on the other side of the mountain. Therefore, he had to get rid of General Nan as soon as possible. Of course, the solution Ningyu had in mind was not to kill General Nan, but to control him. No matter how arrogant Ningyu was, he was not so arrogant that he could compete with a Heavenly Lord. For him, if he wanted to get close to Heavenly Lord Kuba, he had to control General Nan. He had to make use of General Nan to get close to Heavenly Lord Kuba, then attack unexpectedly and severely injure Heavenly Lord Kuba. "You're courting death." Looking at Ningyu, who was constantly approaching him, General Nan's face was gloomy and his fist met Ningyu's. Bang! The two collided. Ningyu didn't move from his spot, but General Nan retreated several feet before he could stabilize himself. This move. General Nan was defeated, and it was a complete defeat. "How could you become so strong?" General Nan's face was full of disbelief. One had to know. With the help of Heavenly Lord Kuba, his cultivation had advanced to the half-step Heavenly Lord realm. At this time, if he went to challenge the Heavenly Lord substitute list, he could at least be ranked 150th. Originally, he thought that this ranking was enough to kill Ningyu. However, after fighting with Ningyu, he knew that he was wrong, very wrong. Not only had his strength increased, but Ningyu's strength had also increased. "Are you the only one allowed to become stronger, and I am not allowed to become stronger?" Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, "I am too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Now I will give you a choice: surrender to me, or I will let you die a horrible death." "You want me to surrender to you?" "Ah." General Nan raised his head and laughed wildly. His laughter was very arrogant. Swoosh. However, while General Nan was laughing wildly, Ningyu flicked his finger and a lump entered General Nan's throat into his abdomen. Cough. General Nan's face changed drastically, and he hurriedly dug his throat with his hand. At the same time, he wanted to force the lump out of his body. Helpless. No matter how hard General Nan tried, it didn't have the slightest effect. "What the hell did you do to me?" General Nan was furious and roared, hurry up and give me the antidote. Otherwise, I will tell Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba and let him turn your bones into ashes. Save some strength, I will give you a chance to live now, open your mind and let me control you. General Nan's face was gloomy. He was not sure what the lump was. For now, I will beat you at your own game. After pondering for a moment, General Nan gritted his teeth and said, I can open my mind, but you have to, you are not qualified to negotiate with me. Ningyu said indifferently, either open your mind or die. Alright. General Nan said in a deep voice, I will open my mind, I hope you have the ability to control me. You don't have to worry about this for the time being. The soul force in Ningyu's body surged, and with an extremely terrifying speed, he rushed towards General Nan. Swish! In the blink of an eye, the soul force arrived in front of General Nan and entered his sea of consciousness. Ah! Feeling Ningyu's soul force entering his sea of consciousness, General Nan laughed wildly again. What the hell are you laughing at? Ningyu felt that General Nan was a little silly and cute. Didn't he know that General Nan would play tricks? The soul force he used to enter General Nan's sea of consciousness was just a fake to attract General Nan's attention. Swish! As for himself, while General Nan was laughing, he suddenly came in front of him and punched him in the chest. Poochie! The huge force from his chest made General Nan spit out a mouthful of red blood. A force entered General Nan's chest and stayed in his heart. What? General Nan was shocked. His pupils shrank and his face was full of horror. In any case, he could never have thought that Ningyu would do this. But now his plan failed, and Ningyu completely controlled him. Very good. Chapter 2276. You will never know how powerful a heavenly lord is. General Nan gritted his teeth and said, even if I take you close to Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba, he will definitely find out. You don't have to worry about that, Ningyu said calmly. Okay, I hope you don't regret it. General Nan's face was cold as he turned around and led the way. As General Nan moved forward, the illusory mountain disappeared completely and turned into a flat road. Ningyu did not hesitate and followed General Nan. Swish! The illusory realm was indeed an illusory realm. When Ningyu first entered, it was still a flat road. But, when he moved forward for a distance, the flat road disappeared completely and was replaced by a cave. Walking in the cave, Ningyu was highly focused and paid close attention to the changes around him. He moved forward slowly for about 10 minutes. General Nan stopped. What's going on? Ningyu frowned and wondered. Through the barrier in front, you can see Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba. General Nan pointed to the transparent barrier not far away and said, if you don't want to die, I advise you not to sneak attack Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba. Swish! Ningyu did not talk too much with General Nan. His figure flickered and directly turned into an afterimage, drilling into General Nan's body. Sigh. With a sigh, General Nan moved his feet and walked directly towards the transparent barrier. In fact, General Nan really did not want Ningyu to hide in his body. Because once Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba found out, he would definitely die. However, since things had come to this, General Nan had no choice but to bite the bullet. The barrier might be an obstacle for others, but it had no effect on General Nan at all. It did not take long for General Nan to pass through the barrier and arrive in front of the tomb where Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba was. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba was collecting the Heavenly Lord talisman and devouring the Heavenly Demon's corpse in the tomb. The sudden appearance of General Nan was a little unexpected to him. Have you investigated it? Giving up on collecting the Heavenly Lord talisman and the Heavenly Demon's corpse, Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba turned to look at General Nan and asked, who is destroying my illusory realm? It's a human warrior. General Nan answered honestly. But, hearing that, Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba's figure flashed and slapped General Nan's cheek. Trash. I also know that it's a human martial artist. Let me ask you, who is the one causing destruction? Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba scolded with a cold expression. Ning Yu of the brilliant Void Territory. General Nan's eyes were a little flustered, and he hurriedly said, Ning Yu is insidious and cunning. Lord Heavenly Lord must be careful. Obviously, General Nan was reminding Heavenly Lord Kuba. Even though he believed in Heavenly Lord Kuba's abilities, he didn't want Heavenly Lord Kuba to be killed by Ning Yu's sneak attack. Ning Yu. Are they the ones who killed General Shi and the others? Heavenly Lord Kuba asked. Yes, it's him. General Nan said. Go watch over the illusion for me. Without my permission, don't let anyone in. Frowning slightly, Heavenly Lord Kuba waved his hand and said, If a human martial artist comes in, I'll chop off your head. Yes. General Nan responded, then turned around and was about to leave. Wait. At this moment, Heavenly Lord Kuba said again, This Heavenly Lord talisman is for you. If you catch them off guard, you can injure a Heavenly Lord expert. Swoosh. While speaking, Heavenly Lord Kuba threw a Heavenly Lord talisman to General Nan. But after taking the Heavenly Lord talisman, General Nan wasn't happy. Instead, he looked bitter. What's wrong? Heavenly Lord Kuba was puzzled. No, nothing. I'm just happy. General Nan forced a smile and said, Humph. Heavenly Lord Kuba snorted and said in a deep voice, Tell me the truth. Okay. General Nan hesitated for a while and finally said, Ning Yu is very powerful. Even if I go all out, I can't kill him. Swoosh. Swoosh. Heavenly Lord Kuba flicked his wrist and threw another 3 Heavenly Lord talismans to General Nan. As long as Ning Yu isn't a Heavenly Lord, these 3 talismans can definitely kill him. Heavenly Lord Kuba said coldly. Thank you, Heavenly Lord. General Nan quickly bowed and thanked him. However, General Nan's expression still didn't look very happy. Hurry up and get lost. Don't delay me from collecting the Heavenly Demon's corpse. After throwing out the 3 Heavenly Lord talismans, Heavenly Lord Kuba kicked General Nan's butt and said indifferently, You have 2 tasks. The first is to guard the illusion for me. The second is to gather all the heavenly demons in the evil spirit battlefield. Wait for me to devour all the heavenly demons inside and use them to refine an evil technique. Swoosh. However, as soon as Heavenly Lord Kuba's right foot touched General Nan's butt, there was a sudden change. A shadow suddenly rushed out of General Nan's body and rushed toward him at an extremely terrifying speed. What the hell is that? The sudden change was obviously out of Heavenly Lord Kuba's expectation. He let out a low roar and quickly retreated. Explode. However, in the process of Heavenly Lord Kuba's retreat, the shadow directly detonated the 4 Heavenly Lord talismans in General Nan's hand. Rumble. An extremely terrifying shockwave spread out in all directions in this area. I can't accept this. Facing the explosion of the 4 Heavenly Lord talismans, General Nan was almost unable to resist and was blasted into pieces. On the other hand, Ning Yu and Heavenly Lord Kuba. As Ning Yu was already prepared, his injuries were the lightest and he was basically uninjured. As for Heavenly Lord Kuba, he was in the center of the explosion and his injuries were not light. Damn it! Feeling the change in the aura in his body, Heavenly Lord Kuba cursed. At this moment, Heavenly Lord Kuba could be said to be extremely angry. He didn't expect that he would be deceived by General Nan. If it wasn't for General Nan, he would definitely not be injured. You're Ning Yu. Taking a deep breath, Heavenly Lord Kuba tried to calm himself down. He looked at Ning Yu coldly and said in a deep voice, Surrender and be my slave, and I can consider letting you go. If you asked me to be your slave previously, I might have considered it. But now you're far from qualified. Ning Yu shrugged and said, If I'm not wrong, your current combat power should be less than 10% of your peak. Humph. So what if it's 10%? It's still easy to kill you. Heavenly Lord Kuba snorted. Haha, who doesn't know how to brag? Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? Ningyu moved his arm slightly and hid the remaining Heavenly Lord talisman in his sleeve. Ningyu was very self-aware. With his current combat power, even if Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba only had 10% of his peak strength left, he still couldn't fight against him. That was because Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba's current strength could still be ranked in the top 50 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list. For now, there was only one plan. Chapter 2277. You seem to be very confident. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba regained his composure. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and said calmly, I have at least a dozen Heavenly Lord talismans and many other life-saving Dharma treasures. Unless you're also a Heavenly Lord, killing you will be as easy as killing a dog. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba was naturally confident. As a Heavenly Lord, he could go home and sell sweet potatoes if he was scared by a half-step sacred immortal. I know you're a Heavenly Lord and I admit that you're very powerful. Ningyu's eyes flickered. However, I want to tell you something bad. There are 2 Heavenly Lords outside the evil spirit battlefield. Are you trying to scare me? Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba said coldly. I've been on the battlefield for tens of thousands of years. I'm not scared. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. Ningyu spread his hands. This is your last chance. Surrender or die. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba took a step forward and said, I don't want to surrender or die. Ningyu said calmly. Swoosh. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba threw out a Heavenly Lord talisman as soon as Ningyu finished his sentence. Explode. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba shouted in a low voice. The Heavenly Lord talisman exploded on the spot. Fortunately, Ningyu had been paying attention to Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba's actions. Otherwise, he would not be able to dodge the explosion of the Heavenly Lord talisman. Swoosh. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba attacked again when he saw that his attack did not succeed. He clenched his right fist and punched toward Ningyu's head with violent energy. Fight. Ningyu clenched his teeth as he looked at Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba, who was approaching him. He gathered all the immortal chi in his body on his fist and threw a backhand punch that collided with Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba's fist. Bang! The two collided. Ningyu quickly retreated. As for Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba, he stood still on the spot. In comparison, Ningyu was completely at a disadvantage. Not bad, Yi Zichen said. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba took out an elixir and popped it into his mouth as he said sinisterly, Fortunately, I've prepared a lot of things. Otherwise, I might really fail miserably today. Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba felt very lucky. The reason why he set up the illusory array was to prevent people from disturbing him. After all, in the process of devouring the heavenly demon's corpse, he had to divide a lot of energy to manage the energy in his body. That energy was more complex, even mixed with the resentment of the heavenly demons. It needed to be slowly refined. Otherwise, with just 4 Heaven Monarch talismans, how was it possible to compress his strength to 10%? Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba had prepared a lot of elixirs because he had anticipated that there would be resentful energy. Amongst them, he had prepared no less than 100 heavenly pills. What kind of concept was 100 heavenly pills? The culmination elixir could instantly replenish the energy in the bodies of experts ranked around 100 on the Heaven Monarch substitute list. However, the Heaven Elixir had a miraculous effect on Heaven Monarch realm experts. Gotcha! When Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba devoured the Heaven Elixir, Ningyu also took out a culmination elixir and threw it into his mouth. When the culmination elixir entered his stomach, the energy that Ningyu had consumed was instantly replenished. Competing with me in elixirs? Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba shook the jade bottle in his hand and said faintly, I will let you die a horrible death. As soon as he said die, Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba rose from the ground and rushed towards Ningyu again. This time, Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba did not hold back at all. In order to kill Ningyu in one move, he did not hesitate to burn his blood essence to increase his combat power. In fact, Heavenly Lord Ku-Ba was very clear. His current strength could be ranked around 50 on the Heaven Monarch substitute list, while Ningyu could be ranked around 80. Although he was 30 ranks higher than Ningyu, as he had to deal with the resentful energy in his body, his overall combat power was comparable to Ningyu. Under such circumstances, his only chance to win was to compete with Ningyu in terms of elixirs. Rumble. Just as Heavenly Lord Kuba was about to launch his second attack, a sudden change happened. A huge grave in the distance suddenly split open. Swoosh. A huge skeleton came out of the grave. Gasp. Sensing the aura emitted from the huge skeleton, Ningyu and Heavenly Lord Kuba gasped at the same time. They could basically conclude that the cultivation of this skeleton was at least at the peak of the early stage Heaven Monarch. Heavenly Lord Kuba was only the weakest Heaven Monarch. Among the heavenly demons, there were many Heavenly Monarchs who were more powerful than Heavenly Lord Kuba. Damn it! Heavenly Lord Kuba cursed in his heart. His face was extremely gloomy. The skeleton's current strength should be in the top 30 on the Heaven Monarch substitute list. Originally, Heavenly Lord Kuba could easily kill it. But now, he could only choose to retreat. Anger, unwillingness, and despair filled Heavenly Lord Kuba's mind. Ningyu, you and I are irreconcilable. Heavenly Lord Kuba roared at Ningyu. Then, he turned his head and wanted to leave. Crack! How could the skeleton allow Heavenly Lord Kuba to leave? He took a step forward and appeared in front of Heavenly Lord Kuba. You are a heavenly demon. This body is just right for me to stay in temporarily. The skeleton's body spun rapidly and went into Heavenly Lord Kuba's body under his desperate gaze. Crack! 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 It fused with Heavenly Lord Kuba. The skeleton twisted its body and made cracking sounds. Why? Although the skeleton went into his body, Heavenly Lord Kuba did not die immediately. He let out an angry roar and struggled to drive the skeleton out. But, no matter how hard Heavenly Lord Kuba tried, he could not succeed. This situation lasted for about a few minutes. Then, Heavenly Lord Kuba's voice gradually weakened. Ningyu knew. Heavenly Lord Kuba was completely dead. His body was also taken by the skeleton. Human, fresh flesh. The skeleton turned to look at Ningyu, licked his lips and said, I didn't expect that I, Aofeng, would receive two great gifts as soon as I came out of the mountain. Fresh and tender human flesh. Just thinking about it makes me excited. Hearing Aofeng's words, Ningyu's face became extremely solemn. After taking over Heavenly Lord Kuba's body, Aofeng's strength improved again. Originally, Aofeng could only be ranked around 30th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Now, he could be ranked around 20th. Kill! Heavenly Lord Aofeng shouted and charged at Ningyu with a roar. Chi! Heavenly Lord Aofeng was very fast. He was so fast that he arrived in front of Ningyu in an instant. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched at Ningyu's heart. Explode! At the critical moment, Ningyu threw out the Heavenly Lord talisman from his sleeve and detonated it. Child's play. The Heavenly Lord talisman that Ningyu threw out did not cause any damage to Heavenly Lord Aofeng. After dispersing the aftermath, Heavenly Lord Aofeng came in front of Ningyu. Swoosh! At the critical moment, a cold glint suddenly shot out from the red demon sword. Ning Road. Chapter 2278. Bang! Ning Lu punched out, bringing along a berserk strong wind, colliding with Aofeng's fist that could not be avoided. Swoosh! Swoosh! After one move, two figures retreated hastily. This move, both sides were evenly matched. Very good. Aofeng stared at Ning Lu with a cold expression and said in a deep voice, You have successfully infuriated me. Next, I will let you know the price of angering me. Swoosh! When his voice fell, Aofeng did not hesitate and dashed out again. Let me! Seeing Aofeng make a move, Ning Yu took a step out and blocked in front of Ning Lu. Although he did not know why Ning Lu could erupt with such terrifying combat power, Ning Yu was very clear that Ning Lu must have paid a huge price. Letting Ning Lu, who was in a seriously injured state, block Ao Feng for him, Ning Yu could not do it. Rumble. However, right at this moment, all the tombs started to shake. Furthermore, the speed of this shaking became faster and faster. At first, it was only the tombs shaking, but as time passed, the entire Cloud Valley was not spared. Bad news. The sudden change made Ao Feng's expression change drastically. Having no time to care about Ning Lu and Ning Yu, Ao Feng waved his hand and directly sucked out the heavenly demon corpses in the tombs, storing them into the spatial magic treasure that he carried with him. After doing all this, Ao Feng glared at Ning Yu and Ning Lu, then tore the void and tunneled in. Let's go too. Ning Yu was not an indecisive person. He grabbed Ning Lu's palm and wanted to leave. Wait! However, Ning Lu directly broke free from Ning Yu and said in a deep voice, "This is an opportunity." Opportunity? Ning Yu was puzzled. Seeing that Cloud Valley was about to collapse, staying at this time, what was the difference from courting death? Why would Ning Lu say that it was an opportunity? We'll know in a while. Moreover, that guy might not be able to escape. Ning Lu waved his hand, indicating that Ning Yu did not need to panic. All right. Helpless, Ning Yu could only choose to stay. Rumble. As time went by, the swaying of the cloudy Cloud Valley grew more and more intense. The ground collapsed, and the cave completely collapsed. Whoosh. Just when Ning Yu was about to give up, a branch the size of an arm shot out from the ground. World Tree. Ning Yu's pupils shrank when he saw the branches that suddenly shot out. This branch was not an ordinary tree branch, but a branch of the World Tree. Calling it a branch was a bit unfair. Roots. This root contained most of the World Tree's essence. Xiao. Ning Lu didn't hesitate at all. The moment the roots sprang out, they moved quickly, opened their mouths, and swallowed it. Kacha. 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 It didn't take long before Ning Lu swallowed the root of the World Tree. Bang. Subsequently, Ning Lu sat down cross-legged and began refining. Buzz buzz buzz. Ning Lu's refining speed was very fast, fast to the extreme. Bang. In just a dozen or so seconds, Ning Lu's missing energy was completely replenished, and he returned to his peak state. Rise. Seeing that Ning Lu was cultivating, the immortal qi in Ning Yu's body surged out and formed an immortal qi protective shield around him. No matter how the collapsed rocks fell, they couldn't hurt Ning Yu and Ning Lu at all. Bang, bang, bang. Just like that. Time was ticking away. Ning Lu's devouring speed became faster and faster. 10 minutes passed in the blink of an eye. During these 10 minutes, a total of 3 muffled sounds came from Ning Lu's body. Every muffled sound signified that Ning Lu's cultivation had increased by a level. Early stage Saint Immortal, middle stage Saint Immortal, late stage Saint Immortal, peak stage Saint Immortal. Ning Lu was originally an early stage Saint Immortal. After refining the root of the World Tree, his cultivation level soared to the peak stage Saint Immortal. According to Ning Yu's preliminary estimation, if Ning Lu challenged the Heavenly Lord's substitute role, he would probably be ranked in the top 20. Of course, that was only Ning Yu's preliminary estimation. As for how strong Ning Lu's real combat ability was, Ning Yu didn't know. Ning Yu, relax. Ning Yu was thinking. Ning Lu's voice rang in his ears. Ning Yu was stunned at first, then he relaxed. Swoosh. A terrifying energy wave surged out of Ning Lu's body and entered Ning Yu's body. Ning Yu was shocked. He thought that the energy of the root of the World Tree had been completely refined by Ning Lu. However, it seemed that Ning Lu had only consumed half of its energy. If Ning Lu refined all of it, his cultivation level could even reach the half-step Heavenly Lord realm. Thank you. Ning Yu knew that there was no need for too many words between him and Ning Lu. He thanked Ning Lu secretly, then started to use a secret skill to refine the energy that entered his body. Bang! 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 A series of muffled sounds came from Ning Yu's body. Although his cultivation level did not increase, and was still at the half-step Saint Immortal realm, every muffled sound meant that Ning Yu's strength had increased by a level. Originally, Ning Yu could only be ranked in the top 80 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list. However, at this moment, he could definitely enter the top 50 if he challenged the Heavenly Lord substitute list. However, this was not the final state. That was because there was still a lot of energy in Ning Yu's body that had not been refined. 49, 48, 47. The speed at which time passed was obviously slower than the speed at which Ning Yu's strength increased. Crack. Half an hour later. It was only when a crisp sound came from Ning Yu's body that Ning Yu stopped. Huff. Ning Yu's eyes were filled with shock as he slowly exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Chapter 2279. Heavenly Lord? Ning Yu was startled, then his expression turned serious. He could sense a terrifying aura from the young man. Only a Heavenly Lord would have such an aura. I don't think he's a Heavenly Lord. Ning Lu shook his head and said, he probably has a few powerful Heavenly Lord talismans. I see. Ning Yu took a closer look and found that Ning Lu was right. The aura from the young man was very similar to the aura from the Heavenly Lord talismans. Without the help of external items, the old man couldn't even make it into the top 300 on the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking. Suhi. While Ning Yu and Ning Lu were talking, Hong Yu, who was hiding in the red demon sword, screamed. This is bad. Hong Yu's face turned pale. What's going on? Ning Yu frowned and began to communicate with Hong Yu. The peerless genius of the Su family, ranked 500th on the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking, from one of the top 3 families in the Kungsu territory. Hong Yu said in a trembling voice, Su he is powerful and ruthless. Anyone who is targeted by him, without exception, will be killed. Everyone he targeted, without exception, ended up dead. Only ranked 500th? Ning Yu had a strange expression. According to his judgment, with Su He's strength, no matter what, he could be ranked around 300. Only? Hong Yu was dumbfounded. In her opinion, Ning Yu might not know what it meant to be in the top 500 of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking. There were many geniuses in the top 10,000 of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking in the vast Kungsu territory. However, there were only a handful of peerless geniuses in the top 500. The reason was simple. Rumor had it that all the peerless geniuses in the top 500 of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking would be taken away by the Immortal Court. The Immortal Court was a place that all the people in the higher realms dreamed of. Of course, it was just a rumor that had yet to be confirmed. After all, the Immortal Court was very mysterious. Even powerful Heavenly Lords might not be able to find the entrance to the Immortal Court. Most of the peerless geniuses in the top 500 of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking would disappear within a year. That was why there was a speculation that they were all brought into the Immortal Court. Be careful. Don't expose your strength, Hong Yu cautioned. Don't worry, I won't offend others if they don't offend me. Ning Yu replied calmly, then sealed the red demon sword. I wonder what the relationship between Su He and Su Ying is. Ning Yu frowned slightly and fell into deep thought. When he first entered the higher planes, he was separated from Su Ying. At that time, Su Ying had said that she came from the Brilliant Void territory. Ning Yu had never been to the Brilliant Void Weave after wandering in the advanced planes for so many years. Now that he had met someone called Su He, Ning Yu decided to ask him if he knew Su Ying. Rumble. Ning Yu was still deep in thought. Over there, Su He and Ao Feng already clashed together fiercely. Sure enough, it was as expected. Su He's strength was too weak. Whether it was the top 500 or the top 300 of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking, it was impossible for him to defeat Ao Feng. Under such circumstances, Su-hee didn't dare to be careless. He directly took out several powerful Heavenly Lord talismans and detonated them. Rumble! The explosion of the Heavenly Monarch talisman not only affected Proud Wind, even the surrounding aboriginal heavenly demons were blasted until they were on their last breath. Do you think you're the only one with Heavenly Lord talismans? Ao Feng's face was cold. He took out hundreds of Heavenly Lord talismans and threw them at Su-hee. Although the Heavenly Lord talismans that Ao Feng took out were not very powerful, they won in quantity. With so many Heavenly Lord talismans exploding at the same time, even if Su-hee was prepared and wore a secret battle armor, he still couldn't bear it. Poochie! Dark red blood spurted out. Su-hee's face was extremely gloomy. He originally thought that with a few powerful Heavenly Lord talismans, he could be the final winner. Who would have thought that he was still a little careless? Ao Feng's strength was beyond his expectations. Want to kill me? How can it be so easy? Ao Feng also spurted out a large mouthful of blood. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said fiercely, "Your blood chi is stronger. After devouring you, my strength can increase by 1%. Courting death. Su-hee felt very insulted and said angrily, "No matter what, he could be ranked in the top 300 of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking." Now, Ao Feng actually said that devouring him would only increase his strength by 1%. This made him extremely angry. However, although he was angry, Su-hee didn't do anything stupid. After losing the Heavenly Lord talismans, his overall strength wasn't Ao Feng's match. If Ao Feng used his full strength, he would even be defeated in one move. However, Ao Feng felt a little puzzled. He really couldn't understand why Ao Feng didn't attack him. As he wasn't sure what Ao Feng was up to, he didn't use his trump card to escape. In fact, Su-hee wasn't particularly worried. After all, he had the special teleportation scroll of the Brilliant Void Territories Su family. Once he activated the teleportation scroll, even if he faced the top 20 experts of the Heavenly Lord substitute ranking, he could escape safely. What a piece of trash. Ao Feng glanced at Su-hee, then turned around and looked at Ningyu. "I didn't expect you to come out alive. If you didn't die, how could I?" Ningyu rubbed his nose and said indifferently, "Swoosh." Until now, Su-hee finally noticed Ningyu. Half-step Saint Immortal. When he realized that Ningyu was only a half-step Saint Immortal, Su-hee couldn't help but reveal a disdainful expression. He was a peak Saint Immortal. But Ningyu hadn't even reached Saint Immortal. Ao Feng actually thought so highly of this piece of trash. Hee, someone's brain must have rusted. Su-hee smiled and said sinisterly, "You actually think so highly of a piece of trash who hasn't even reached Saint Immortal. Idiot." Ao Feng wasn't a stupid person. To him, Su-hee and Ningyu were definitely in cahoot. Su-hee was responsible for infuriating him so that he would lose his mind and attack Su-hee. Ningyu used sneak attacks. Therefore, even though Su-hee kept mocking him, Ao Feng didn't get angry. "Ningyu, our strengths are on par. Why don't we call a truce for today?" Ao Feng's eyes spun as he said, "It wouldn't be too late to fight the next time we meet." "Ningyu?" When Su-hee heard the two words Ningyu, he was slightly surprised. He felt like he had heard of Ningyu somewhere before. Right. Suddenly, Su-hee slapped his thigh and recalled who Ningyu was. Su-ing, that piece of trash, once said that she knew a person called Ningyu in a low-class realm, and he followed her to a high-class realm. Since it's someone that little b** tch knows, I can. The corner of Su-hee's lips curled up slightly. Recently, Su-hee had joined forces with the elders of the Su family to put Su-ing under house arrest. Their goal was to find out the whereabouts of the Tree of World from Su-ing. Ever since Su-ing returned to the Su family, Su-hee used a secret treasure to find out that Su-ing had come into contact with the Tree of World. How precious was the Tree of World? Chapter 2280. Evenly matched? Hee hee, you think too highly of yourself. Ningyu smiled slightly, looked at Aofeng and said, To kill you, I don't need to use my full strength at all. Ah. It was as if Aofeng had heard the funniest joke in the world. He first raised his head and laughed wildly, then changed the topic and said coldly, You might have some misunderstanding about me. My current strength, compared to when I was in Cloud Valley, is more than doubled? It's better to squash enmity than keep it alive. In my opinion, everyone should sit down and have a good talk, lest we hurt our friendship. At this time, Su-He acted as a peacemaker. He took a step forward and said in a clear voice, Ningyu's strength is very strong, and Aofeng is not weak either. Rather than both sides suffering, why not reconcile? Furthermore, although Aofeng is a heavenly demon, he has never killed a human martial artist, so his nature is not bad. And Ningyu, you shouldn't use Aofeng's identity to talk about things, you should be more magnanimous. The more Su-He spoke, the more energetic he became. In the end, he even leaned towards Aofeng and started to persuade Ningyu. Very good. Hearing Su-He's words, Aofeng quietly gave him a thumbs up. There were no eternal enemies, no eternal friends. In Aofeng's opinion, as long as Su-He stood together with him, it was enough. Anyway, his idea was to leave as soon as possible, and not to be entangled with Ningyu here. After all, there was still an existence that made his heart palpitate by Ningyu's side. According to Aofeng's speculation, Ning Lu's overall strength could even be comparable to Ningyu. Once Ning Lu and Ningyu attacked together, then what welcomed him was very likely death. You're welcome. Su-He smiled at Aofeng, indicating that all of this was what he should do. To uphold justice, to maintain the peace of the world, he was duty-bound. What's going on today? Why are there so many flies? Ningyu looked left and right, revealing a puzzled expression. Who are you calling a fly? Su-He's face instantly turned cold. Very obviously, the fly that Ningyu was talking about was definitely him. Whoever talks the most is the fly, Ningyu said lightly. Ningyu did not intend to kill Su-He. He wanted to see if he could get news of Su-Ing from Su-He. Courting death. Su-He was furious. He was, after all, an exceptional prodigy of the Su clan of the brilliant Void territory and an unparalleled martial expert ranked in the top 300 of the Heaven Monarch substitute role. How could he tolerate Ningyu's words? However, no matter how hard it was to endure, Su-He had to endure. There was no other reason. His overall strength was weaker than Ningyu's. Under such circumstances, enraging Ningyu was clearly not a wise choice. Good chance. Seeing Ningyu and Su-He quarreling, Aofeng seized the opportunity. He stomped on the ground and shot off into the distance at an extremely terrifying speed. Aofeng was not a fool. Endure for a moment and be tranquil, take a step back and you'll see the world. Where there's life, there's hope. As long as he could leave successfully, when he recovered to his peak state, wouldn't it be as easy as taking something out of his pocket to kill Ningyu? Want to leave? Ningyu's aura had long been locked on to Aofeng. Therefore, as soon as Aofeng left, he chased after him. I'll collect some interest first. Aofeng and Ningyu left together. The one who was the most excited was Su-He. The corner of his mouth curled up as he said to Ning Lu, Kid, if you're smart, come over and kneel before me as soon as possible. Then, kowtow a few times, otherwise, pff. However, before Shuhei could finish his words, he felt his body lighten as he flew backward in a straight line. Bang! The ethereal river only stopped when it crashed into a towering tree. Fresh blood spurted out and Su-He's aura instantly dropped from peak Saint Immortal to early stage Saint Immortal. Moreover, it continued to drop. Shush. Ning Lu moved his feet and came in front of Su-He. He swung his slightly swollen fist and said calmly, You should feel very fortunate. Fortunately, your surname is Su. Otherwise, you would have long become a dead soul under my fist. Before Ning Yu went to chase after Ao Feng, he once instructed to leave Su He alive. Ning Lu definitely wouldn't go against Ning Yu. Therefore, he only heavily injured Su He and didn't kill him. Why Yu your strength? Su He turned pale with fright. He didn't expect that even the little fellow by Ning Yu's side had such terrifying strength. One move. With just one move, he was defeated. Moreover, it was a crushing defeat. What about me? If you talk nonsense again, I'll dig your eyes out. Ning Lu glared fiercely at Su He, then slapped him on the back. Puh! His palm and Su He's back came into contact. A terrifying force surged out from Ning Lu's palm and entered Su He's body. What did you do to me? Su He's pupils constricted as he cried out. Relax, I just left a bit of force in your heart, said Yi Shiwen. Ning Lu shrugged and said coolly, next, you better be more obedient. Because as long as I'm willing, I can take your life at any time. Thud. Hearing Ning Lu's words, Su He directly sat paralyzed on the ground. It's over. It's all over. In his mind, this word kept reverberating. Su He was very desperate. His scheme failed and was schemed against by Ning Yu instead. Now, he could only pray that Ning Yu would be killed by Ao Feng. Bang! The difference between ideals and reality was always very big. Before long, Ning Yu dashed Su He's hope. A figure suddenly dashed out of midair and fell heavily to the ground. Ao Feng. This figure that was thrown to the ground was precisely Ao Feng. As for Ning Yu, he was floating in midair. His expression did not change much. 100 superior grade heavenly elixirs and 50 Heaven Monarch talismans that are comparable to the top 50 of the Heaven Monarch substitute list. Thinking of the things that he found on Ao Feng, Ning Yu could not help but be excited. Originally, the 100 heavenly elixirs belonged to Heaven Monarch Kuba. However, ever since Heaven Monarch Kuba was forcefully possessed by Ao Feng, the heavenly elixirs fell into Ao Feng's hands. In addition to the Heaven Monarch talismans that Ao Feng seized, Ning Yu suddenly became rich. What kind of concept was 100 heavenly elixirs? Even a super dominion like the Brilliant Void Dominion that was ranked in the top 3 might not be able to take it out. Purely comparing the number of heavenly elixirs, Ning Yu could already be comparable to the superpowers. You killed Ao Feng. Su He stared at Ao Feng, who was lying on the ground lifelessly, and said to Ning Yu, "You're in big trouble. The Ao Feng clan is very powerful among the Skyfiends. Offending them, even if you run to the ends of the world, you will still be hunted down. Why are you still talking so much nonsense?" Ning Yu did not look at Su He in the eye. He looked at Ning Lu and said, "I only said to keep him alive. I did not say that he must be unharmed." Unharmed? Su He almost cursed out loud. His aura was declining. How was it possible that he was unharmed? Understood. Ning Lu nodded and then had a thought. Chapter 2281. Ah! The pain coming from his heart caused Su He to let out a hysterical scream. A while later, Ning Lu retracted his senses. At this moment, Su He was lying on the ground like a dead dog. There was even an unknown liquid flowing out of his crotch. "I'll ask you a few questions now. If you can answer them honestly, I can consider sparing your life." Ning Yu went straight to the point without beating around the bush. He raised a finger and said, "First question, do you know Suing?" "Yes, I know Suing." Su He hurriedly said, as though he had found a life-saving straw. "I have a good relationship with Suing. She's my younger sister, and I'm her older brother." "Why did I hear that Suing doesn't have an older brother?" Ning Yu looked at Su He with interest and asked doubtfully. This, Su He's face turned slightly pale. He knew that he had thought himself clever. Since Ning Yu knew Suing, how could he not know about her background? Su He gritted his teeth and said, "Su-ing is imprisoned in the Su family. If she doesn't receive treatment in time, I'm afraid," He did not finish his sentence. He needed to give Ningyu some time to think. As for whether Ningyu was willing to return to the Su family with him, he was not sure yet. However, if Ningyu was foolish enough to follow him back to the Su family, he would have 100 ways to kill Ningyu. Why is she imprisoned? Ningyu frowned. Simple. She offended the great elder of the Su family. He tried to make the story sound smooth, so that Ningyu would not find anything wrong. He would not foolishly tell Ningyu that the Su family imprisoned Suing because of the Tree of World. I'll choose to believe you for once. After a moment of silence, Ningyu said, "Let's go to the Brilliant Void territory immediately." Since the Cloud Valley had collapsed, moreover, all the indigenous sky demons in the entire evil spirit battlefield had been killed by Ao Feng. Hence, there was no need for them to remain. After casually tossing Ao Feng's corpse into the Red Devil Sword, Ningyu's figure flickered as he flew off into the distance. Swish, swish, swish. Behind Ningyu, the bald martial artist, Su He, and Ning Lu followed closely. The reason why the bald martial artist was not killed was because he was very smart. When Ao Feng was killing the aboriginal heavenly demon, he had quietly hidden himself, which was why he was spared. Otherwise, his life would definitely be taken by Ao Feng. In fact, at this moment, the bald martial artist's heart was not calm at all. Hong Yu and Ning Yu entered Xia Yun Valley together. So far, he had not even seen Hong Yu's shadow. Fortunately, Hong Yu's identity token was not broken. At the very least, Hong Yu was not in danger for the time being. There were many exits from the evil spirit battlefield. One of the exits was located in the capital city of the Kuan Su territory, in the Cloud Sea Peak to the west of the city. The Cloud Sea Peak was shrouded in mist all year round. Rumor had it that powerful demonic beasts often appeared halfway up the Cloud Sea Peak. Some experts whose cultivation were lower than the Saint Immortal Realm did not even dare to approach the Cloud Sea Peak, let alone the halfway point. Whoosh! The Cloud Sea Peak that day was obviously a little unusual. All of a sudden, a group of demonic beasts charged down from the halfway point of the peak. Not only were there a large number of demonic beasts, but their strength was also abnormally terrifying. The weakest demonic beast was at the Saint Immortal Realm. What's going on? I don't know. Could it be that there's a demon beast king in the Cloud Sea Peak again? Humph. What demon beast king? It's clearly a heavenly demon. At the foot of the Cloud Sea Peak, many martial artists fled in all directions. Most of them were peerless immortals or essence immortals. Facing a Saint Immortal Realm demonic beast, they could only choose to run. Quick, inform the He family that the Cloud Sea Peak will be guarded by them for the next month. Right. There's a demon beast king in the Cloud Sea Peak. Quick, inform the He family. That's not right. A few days ago, I saw He Wuming and He Wushuang enter the Cloud Sea Peak with the experts of the He family. They should be guarding the Cloud Sea Peak now. Everyone discussed among themselves. Crack. At the same time, Kuan Su City, the He family. He Donghao, the head of the He family, slammed the table next to him, shattering it into pieces. How dare they? He Donghao's expression was extremely cold. He had just received news that the identity tokens of the two geniuses of the He family, He Wuming and He Wushuang, who were ranked in the top 10,000 of the Heavenly Lord substitute roll, had shattered. The shattering of their identity tokens meant that they were dead. Relying on He Wuming and He Wushuang, the He family had risen from a third-tier family to a second-tier family. One had to know. Only a second-tier family had the right to guard the Cloud Sea Peak and continuously hunt down the heavenly demons that came out of the unholy spirit battlefield to strengthen the family. But now He Wuming and He Wushuang had died in battle. How could he not be angry? Black-white double doom. He Donghao stood up abruptly and said coldly, I order you to hurry to the unholy spirit battlefield. You must investigate this thoroughly and bring the murderer to justice. Yes. The air vibrated. Then, two subtle waves could be heard. The black-white double doom left the He family and rushed to the Cloud Sea Peak. Report. As soon as the black-white double doom left, a servant came to He Donghao and knelt down. There's something wrong in the Cloud Sea Peak. It seems that the monster beast king has appeared. Smack. He Donghao stood up abruptly, his face turning pale. When it rains, it pours. The He family was only a second-tier family, and did not have the ability to fight against the monster beast king. Every demonic beast that could become the monster beast king had the combined ability to be ranked in the top 3,000 of the Heavenly Lord's substitute role. The most powerful person in the He family, the patriarch, deity White Crane, was only ranked 3,500 on the Heavenly Lord's substitute role. Even if deity White Crane appeared, he would not be able to withstand the attack of the monster beast king. Buzz. Just as He Donghao was frowning, beside him, an old man in white clothes slowly appeared. Patriarch. Seeing the old man in white, He Donghao quickly bowed and greeted respectfully. You don't have to worry about the monster beast king. Leave it to me. Deity White Crane waved his hand and threw a golden box to He Donghao. Today is Hong Ting's son's big day. Send this gift to him first. I'll be there soon. Yes, Patriarch. After taking the golden box, He Donghao rushed to the Hong family without any hesitation. Although the Hong family was also a second-tier family, compared to the He family, the Hong family was many times stronger. The original Hong family was a first-tier family. Due to the war that happened tens of thousands of years ago, the Heavenly Lord of the Hong family died tragically. Therefore, the Hong family fell from a first-tier family to a second-tier family. Even so, the Hong family still had a strong foundation and was the leader of a second-tier family. Even a first-tier family had to show some respect to the Hong family. After all, the old friends of the patriarch of the Hong family were still alive. If the Hong family was in trouble, the friends of the patriarch of the Hong family would definitely help them. Of course. Let's not talk about that for now. Halfway up the Cloud Sea Peak. Chapter 2282. Halfway up the mountain. Ningyu closed his eyes and sensed the aura in the void. His expression turned serious. With Ningyu's keen senses, he could naturally discover that there was an extremely powerful demonic beast in an area not far away from him. Unsurprisingly, that demonic beast's strength was at least in the top 30 of the Heaven Lord's substitute list. Of course, what made Ningyu's expression turn serious was not the powerful demonic beast, but a human martial artist hidden in the void. Heaven Lord. The human martial artist hidden in the void had reached the terrifying Heaven Lord realm. Although Ningyu was ranked around 15th on the Heaven Lord substitute list, he was still unable to compete with a Heaven Lord with his current strength. Even the chance of escaping was very slim. Ningyu knew this, so he was extra careful and tried to hide his aura to prevent being discovered by a Heaven Lord expert. Swish, swish. At this moment, the clouds suddenly dispersed, and two human martial artists, one black and one white, appeared in front of Ningyu. Black and white double ghosts. Seeing the sudden appearance of the human martial artists, the bald martial artist shouted before Ningyu could react. The bald martial artist still had a fresh memory of the black and white double ghost. A few years ago, before he joined the Hong family, he once had a dispute with the black and white double ghosts over some trivial matters. Fortunately, he ran fast enough. Otherwise, he would definitely be killed by the black and white double ghosts who claimed to kill without blinking. Although he escaped, the black and white double ghosts were still chasing after him. This never-ending pursuit only ended when he joined the Hong Yu's side. However, the black and white double ghosts were smarter. They did not go after the bald martial artist, but they spent a lot of money to hire someone from the assassination hall. For this reason, the bald martial artist specially shaved his head and changed his appearance. You, yes, I'm talking about you. Get over here. At this moment, Black Fiend hooked his finger at the bald martial artist and said, I have a few questions to ask you. As long as you answer honestly, I can guarantee your safety. Why are you talking nonsense with them? Bai Sha didn't want to waste time. His face was cold, and a terrifying aura was released from his body, pressing down on the bald martial artist. He said coldly, The mission given to us by the Patriarch is to investigate the cause of death of the two young masters. We can directly extract their memories. Bai Sha was particularly fierce. Without any hesitation, Shao Chun tried to devour the bald cultivator's memories. Kill! How could Baldy just sit and wait for death? He yelled and decided to take the initiative. He directly used his powerful strength to fight with White Devil. Poochie! However, the strength of the bald martial artist was obviously much weaker than White Fiend. Just one move. He was defeated by White Fiend, and he spat out a mouthful of red blood. Bai Sha raised his eyebrows, and he seemed to find the bald martial artist familiar. Got it! After a while, Bai Sha slapped his thigh and said, You are Du Qi. Recently, White Fiend had been searching for the bald martial artist, Du Qi, through the assassination hall. Now that he had found Du Qi, how could he not be excited? Ha ha ha! At the same time of excitement, Bai Sha raised his head and laughed wildly. His laughter was very insolent. After laughing wildly, Bai Sha turned the thread of conversation and said coldly, It's really wearing out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find it effortlessly. Du Qi, this day next year, will be your death date. As the word death date fell, Bai Sha stepped on the ground and rushed to Du Qi at an extremely terrifying speed. It's over. Seeing Bai Sha rushing to himself, Du Qi's head exploded. He knew that he was finished. However, just as Bai Sha was about to reach Du Qi, an afterimage blocked in front of Du Qi. Ningyu. Obviously, the martial artist blocking in front of Du Qi was Ningyu. No matter what, Du Qi was also a member of the Scarlet Moon. Ningyu naturally wouldn't sit back and do nothing. The reason why he didn't make a move immediately was that Ningyu was paying close attention to the beastkin in the void and the actions of the human martial artist. Die for me. Seeing that someone was courting death, Bai Sha yelled and punched with a violent immortal wind, slamming into Ningyu's head. Kacha! A crisp sound rang. A figure was blasted out. What? Originally, He Sha crossed his arms in front of his chest, wanting to watch Bai Sha perform. But, seeing the figure that was blasted out, He Sha opened his mouth slightly, and his face was full of disbelief. Kacha! Clenching his fists, He Sha was furious to the extreme. He could never imagine that Bai Sha, who was only a little weaker than him, would be defeated in one move. You're courting death. He Sha's face was gloomy and cold. He jumped up directly and rushed to Ningyu. Kacha! Facing He Sha, Ningyu's strategy was the same. He clenched his right fist and punched He Sha's fist. The two fists collided. The same crisp sound rang. There was no doubt that He Sha fell heavily to the ground and fell on his face. You guys seem to be very arrogant. After casually defeating the black and white double ghosts, Ningyu moved his feet and came in front of them, saying indifferently, Attack indiscriminately. So what if I attack directly? He Sha said fiercely, We are from the He family. In the Kungsu territory, the He family is a second-rate family. If you offend the He family, even if you run to the ends of the world, you will definitely be killed. He family? Ningyu was slightly startled. It was really a narrow road for enemies. In the Cloud Valley, he killed He Wuming and He Wushuang. Unexpectedly, as soon as he left the evil spirit battlefield and came to the Kungsu territory, he encountered the black and white double ghosts of the He family. Are you afraid? Since you know we are from the He family, hurry up and kowtow to admit your mistake. He Sha snorted coldly. You don't seem to know your situation. Ningyu shrugged and said, I never keep trash like all of you alive. Swish, swish, swish. While speaking, Ningyu opened the Red Fiend's sword. 3 figures suddenly dashed out of the Red Fiend's sword. The Dark Emperor, Red Fiend, and Hong Yu. Among them, the Dark Emperor and the Red Fiend charged at the black and white double ghosts, while Hong Yu stood next to Ningyu. Seeing Hong Yu standing next to Ningyu, the black and white double ghosts finally had a look of fear on their faces. They might be able to kill the bald martial artist Du Qi. However, they did not dare to act rashly against Hong Yu, even if Hong Yu's position in the Hong family was not too high. What about you? Devour them. The Dark Emperor and the Red Fiend ignored the black and white double ghosts' terrified look. They immediately attacked, and a terrifying devouring power surged out of their bodies and began to devour the black and white double ghost. Swish, swish, swish. Feeling the rapid loss of energy in their bodies, the black and white double ghosts revealed a look of despair. We are from the He family. If you kill us, the He family will definitely not let you off. The black and white double ghosts did not want to die. They tried their best to roar, trying to attract Ningyu's attention. We are killing people from the He family, Ningyu said calmly. Is that so? Chapter 2283. Crack. In an instant, the void next to Ningyu cracked, and a huge palm attacked him. Go! Ningyu's face was calm. The immortal qi in his body gathered on his fist, and he punched back. Bang! The two collided, and Ningyu took 3 steps back to stabilize himself. As for the old man in front of him, he stood there without moving an inch. At first glance, Ningyu seemed to be at a disadvantage. However, the truth was that Ningyu only used 10% of his strength, while the old man used 80% of his strength. Your strength is not bad. The old man looked up and down at Ningyu and said indifferently, It's a pity that you shouldn't be enemies with the He family. Kill yourself, I promise I won't embarrass your family. White Crane Immortal. Hong Yu stepped forward and said in a deep voice, The cause of this matter was that the black and white double ghosts attacked us indiscriminately, and we had no choice but to attack them. Haha, Hong Yu, you have been expelled from the Hong family. Didn't you hear the news? White Crane Immortal said with a smile. Hearing that, Hong Yu was shocked. Expelled from the Hong family? In the Hong family, although her talent wasn't too high, it wasn't low either. Besides, she didn't do anything to shame the Hong family. How could she be expelled? You don't believe me? White Crane Immortal said casually. You stole the Heavenly Lord Hongting's talisman. How can the Hong family tolerate you? If it weren't for your father's pleading, I'm afraid your life would have been taken away by the Hong family. Boom. Hong Yu's face darkened. The Heavenly Lord talisman was given to her by Hong Ting, and he had tampered with it. Now that Hong Ting had backstabbed her, she was very angry. Of course, although she was angry, Hong Yu didn't dare to show too much. If it was really as White Crane Immortal said, she had been expelled from the Hong family, then her identity had started to play a role. If she fought with White Crane Immortal again, it would not end well. Fine, you can leave now. Immortal White Crane waved his hand and said indifferently, The rest of you can kill yourselves. I can leave your corpses intact. Can't you just let them go? Hong Yu wanted to fight for Ningyu and the others. In Hong Yu's opinion, Ningyu was very strong, but Immortal White Crane was even stronger. Tens of thousands of years ago, Deity White Crane was a peerless expert ranked in the top 2,000 of the Heavenly Lord's substitute list. After tens of thousands of years of cultivation, Master White Crane's current strength could at least be ranked in the top 1,000 of the Heavenly Lord's substitute list. Furthermore, it was possible for him to enter the top 800. Don't push your luck. Immortal White Crane's face turned cold. He stared at the red moon and said, I gave you a chance. If you don't know how to cherish it, then I can only apologize to you. Boom. During the conversation, Immortal White Crane suddenly exerted his aura and pressed down on Ningyu. Because he had fought with Ningyu before, in Immortal White Crane's heart, Ningyu was the strongest. As long as he got rid of Ningyu, wouldn't the others be at his mercy? His figure flashed. Immortal White Crane used his aura to oppress Ningyu while rushing toward Ningyu. This attack. Immortal White Crane used 100% of his strength. Looking at Immortal White Crane who was constantly rushing toward him, Ningyu frowned. It was not that Ningyu was afraid of Immortal White Crane. Instead, he was considering whether he should kill Master White Crane or not. In fact, Ningyu had a lot of concerns. Especially under the premise that he didn't know whether the Heavenly Lord in the Void was a friend or a foe, it was very irrational to expose his strength rashly. Just as he was thinking, Immortal White Crane had already arrived in front of Ningyu. Kill! Feeling the murderous aura of Immortal White Crane, Ningyu simply got rid of all the distracting thoughts in his mind. He mobilized the immortal chi in his body, gathered it on his fist, and threw a backhand punch. Crack! The two fists collided. Ningyu stood where he was without moving, while Immortal White Crane retreated several feet before stopping. Swoosh! The attack was successful. Ningyu didn't choose to stop, but chased after it. This time, Ningyu's target was Immortal White Crane's head. Hit the snake where it hurts, don't hold back. Ningyu wouldn't give Immortal White Crane any chance to escape. For an expert like Immortal White Crane, once he was given a chance, the consequences would be unimaginable. Not good. Immortal White Crane was worthy of being the ancestor of the He family. He immediately made a choice and flew away. As long as there's life, there's hope. Immortal White Crane knew this well, so he didn't leave any harsh words and directly chose to escape. However, how could Ningyu give him a chance to escape? In order to kill Immortal White Crane, Ningyu used 50% of his strength. Poochie! Ningyu chased after White Crane and arrived in front of it. His fist brought along an extremely terrifying gale of immortal chi and hit White Crane's head. Bang! Immortal White Crane's head exploded like a fruit. Hiss! Seeing Immortal White Crane's tragic death, not only did the black and white double ghosts gasp, but even the Heavenly Lord expert hiding in the void gasped. Master, this human is very strong, I'm no match for him. In the void, a human and a demonic beast. The demonic beast had 2 horns on its head and a pair of wings on its back. At this moment, the double-horned demonic beast said solemnly, according to my estimation, he should be ranked in the top 30 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Top 30? Haha, you underestimated his strength. The human martial artist smiled and said, 2 of you, or even 3 of you, are no match for him. How is that possible? The double-horned demonic beast jumped up. Some time ago, he had secretly challenged the Heavenly Lord substitute list. At that time, he had defeated an expert ranked 30th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list with his late-stage Saint Immortal cultivation. Now that he had advanced to the peak Saint Immortal, his overall strength could be ranked around 25th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. If what Heavenly Lord Rong said was true, then Ningyu's strength could be ranked in the top 20 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Thinking of this, the double-horned demonic beast hesitated and said, Master, even in the Celestial Court, I'm afraid there are no peerless geniuses who can squeeze into the top 20 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list with their half-step Saint Immortal cultivation, right? Of course not. Heavenly Lord Rong shook his head. Let me try him. The double-horned demonic beast rolled its eyes and said, If he can fight me to a draw, I'll give him the token to enter the Celestial Court. Whoosh! As soon as the voice died away, the double-horned demonic beast's body flashed, and it rushed out. Crack! It only took an instant. The double-horned demonic beast arrived in front of Ningyu. Swoosh! A terrifying force shot out from one of the horns on the demonic beast's head and attacked Ningyu. Let the demonic beast attack? Ningyu frowned slightly. He thought the Heavenly Lord would attack first, and he was even prepared to run away. As soon as the Heavenly Lord attacked him, he would leave immediately. However, the demonic beast's attack made him stop in his tracks. Chapter 2284. Ningyu was not an indecisive person. Since taking down the demonic beast was his only chance, he would not hold back. The terrifying energy in his body gathered in his fist as he threw a punch. Crack! In an instant, the force that attacked him was smashed into smithereens. Huh? Interesting. Seeing that the attack was shattered, the double-horned demonic beast raised its eyebrows, flapped its wings, and dashed out. It only took an instant. The double-horned demonic beast came in front of Ningyu. Red Demon Sword. At the critical moment, Ningyu yelled and grabbed the air with his right hand. The red demon sword appeared in his hand. Swish! Ningyu flicked his wrist and slashed. It stopped when it was only a finger away from the demonic beast's neck. The double-horned demonic beast's pupils constricted, and its face was full of disbelief. It had not expected that this human martial artist would be so powerful. One had to know. He had used his speed to the limit just now. Even the top 20 Heavenly Lord substitute list might not have been able to react in time. The martial artist in front of it could react and slash at it with a flying sword. Could it be that he was really stronger than it was, as Lord of Heaven Rong said? I don't accept this. The double-horned demonic beast said coldly. What kind of hero are you to win with speed? Let's have a real fight. Ningyu burst into laughter. A demonic beast had attacked him first, and now it said that he was not a hero. What are you laughing at? The twin-horned demonic beast felt that it had been ridiculed by Ningyu, and its expression was slightly unsightly as it said in a low voice, I admit that I've underestimated you, but your strength is at most slightly stronger than mine. I don't believe that even 3 of me wouldn't be a match for you. Ningyu understood something from the double-horned demonic beast's words. It seemed that the Heavenly Lord hiding in the void had no ill intentions towards him. Of course, that was just his guess. He would not let the double-horned demonic beast go like that. Watch him. Ningyu casually handed over the control of the double-horned demonic beast to Ninglu. He turned around, looked at the void, and said, Come out. In the void, Lord of Heaven Rong was slightly surprised by Ningyu's actions. His cultivation was at the Heaven Monarch realm, and he was very good at hiding his aura. In the Immortal Court, even a Heavenly Monarch realm expert with the same cultivation as him would find it hard to detect his presence. Now, Ningyu could easily detect him. This was enough to show how terrifying Ningyu was. Whoosh! Rong Tianjun did not linger in the void for long. He tore open the void and descended. He really is a heavenly lord. Ningyu's expression turned extremely solemn when he sensed the aura from Rong Tianjuan's body. With his current strength, although he could be ranked in the top 15 of the Heaven Lord substitute list, he had no chance of winning against a Heaven Lord. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Rong Shida. Rong Tianjun did not attack Ningyu. Instead, he smiled and said, The double-horned demonic beast that you defeated is my mount. Oh, it's Rong Tianjun. Ningyu did not dare to be negligent. He cupped his hands at Rong Shida and said to Ninglu, Release the double-horned demonic beast. Whoosh! Hearing that, Ninglu immediately released his control over the double-horned demonic beast. Master. The double-horned demonic beast came to Rong Shida obediently and said with a timid face, I've embarrassed you. What are you talking about? It's a matter of course that you lost to him. Rong Shida waved his hand and said, I have something to do. You will accompany Ningyu and the others for a period of time. Master, the double-horned demonic beast said hurriedly. Buzz. However, before the double-horned demonic beast could finish its sentence, Rong Shida's figure flashed and disappeared. Hey, your master has left. Now, can you introduce us to who you and your master are? Ninglu shrugged and asked as soon as Rong Shida left. Humph. You'll be scared to death if I tell you. The double-horned demonic beast snorted and said, We are from the deity, however. The double-horned demonic beast stopped abruptly in the middle of its sentence. The celestial court was not a place that anyone could enter. Without the token of the celestial court, even if one's cultivation had reached the Lord of Heaven realm, one would not be allowed to enter. Deity? Ningyu frowned slightly. For a moment, a place seemed to have flashed through his mind. But on second thought, Ningyu felt that it was unlikely. Don't worry about it. You will know when my master comes back. The double-horned demonic beast rolled its eyes and waved its hand. Come with me to Kuan-Su City. I will protect you. Protect us. Ning Lu curled his lips and said, You are weaker than Ningyu. How can you protect us? In my opinion, we should follow Ningyu more dependable. Ning Lu's words left the double-horned demonic beast speechless. It could not refute him. In fact, Ning Lu was right. Its strength was much weaker than Ningyu's. After some thought, the double-horned demonic beast said, Although I am not as strong as Ningyu, I have some connections in Kuan-Su City. Connections? You? Ning Lu's face was full of disbelief. Humph. The double-horned demonic beast felt insulted and said coldly, Let's wait and see. I will let you know what real connections are. Whoosh. As it spoke, the double-horned demonic beast flashed and flew toward Kuan-Su City. Are we going? Ning Lu turned around and asked Ningyu. Let's go. Ningyu kicked the Dark Emperor's butt and said, Take White Crane into the Red Demon Sword. Hee, no problem. The Dark Emperor chuckled and then took White Crane's corpse into the Red Demon Sword. The Dark Emperor would not go against Ningyu. By following Ningyu, he could constantly devour martial artists or heavenly demons to improve his strength. If he could enjoy White Crane's corpse alone, he could become a saint immortal. Ningyu, I have something to do. Hongyu hesitated and said, I won't go to Kuan-Su City with you. You won't go? That's a pity. I wanted to go to the Red Clan first. Ningyu shrugged and said calmly, Since you don't want to go, let's part ways here. After saying that, Ningyu did not wait for Hongyu's reaction and immediately flew toward Kuan-Su City. Hongyu did not expect Ningyu to say such a thing. She was dumbfounded for a moment. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Ning Lu patted Hongyu on the shoulder and said, Don't you know Ningyu after following him for so long? Ningyu will not sit by and do nothing about your expulsion from the Red Clan. The Red Clan is a second-rate family and extremely powerful. I'm afraid that Ningyu will be in danger. Hongyu gritted her teeth and said, Are there any heavenly lords in the second-rate families of Kuan-Su City? Ning Lu asked. Chapter 2285. That's enough. Without a heavenly lord, Ningyu won't be in any danger. Ning Lu shrugged, then leaped up and chased after Ningyu. Hongyu might not know Ningyu's combat power. However, Ning Lu knew very well. Unless a heavenly lord intervened, Ningyu would be able to retreat even if he were to face the top 10 heavenly lord substitute list. Looking at Ning Lu's back, Hongyu bit her lips and followed him. Kuan-Su City was located in the east of the Cloud Sea Peak, not too far away. After leaving the Cloud Sea Peak, Ningyu and the others rushed to Kuan-Su City. In just 10 minutes, Ningyu and the others arrived at the gate of Kuan-Su City. From afar, there was a guard standing on both sides of the gate. Early stage Saint Immortal. Ningyu frowned when he sensed the aura emanating from the two guards. Kuan-Su territory was indeed a superclass territory. Even Saint Immortals could only guard the gate. They're from the Zhao family. Su-He seemed to have noticed the change in Ningyu's expression. The Zhao family is a first-class force in Kuan-Su City, just like the Su family. Ningyu glanced back at Su-He and didn't say anything. Instead, he walked straight to the gate. Su-He's face darkened. He wanted to please Ningyu, but Ningyu ignored him. Humph! Su-He snorted and followed behind Ningyu with his head lowered. Rustle! However, Ningyu had to stop as soon as he arrived at the gate. There was only one reason. A young man in a green robe slowly walked out of Kuan-Su City. "Get out of the way, get out of the way!" Seeing the man in a green robe, the two guards immediately began to drive away the martial artists around the gate. Unfortunately, as Ningyu was closer to the city gate, he became the target of the two guards. Ningyu did not choose to clash with the guards. He took a few steps back and retreated to the other side. "Did you find any suspicious people?" The green-robed man arrived in front of the guard and asked lightly. "Young master, I didn't." Hearing the green-clothed man's words, the guard did not dare to dally and hurriedly replied. However, before the guard could finish his words, he felt his body lighten as he was sent flying. The guard spat out a mouthful of blood, and his aura instantly plummeted from an early stage Saint Celestial to freezing point. "Humph! 2 pieces of trash." Casually pushing back the guards, the green-clothed man coldly snorted and said, "The Zhao family has raised you for so many years in vain, yet you can't even detect a thief. In the end, I still have to do it myself." During the conversation, the azure-robed man's gaze slowly moved around. "You, come here and answer a few questions for me." Soon after, the azure-clad man's gaze landed on an intermediate Saint Immortal Stage cultivator. The azure-clad man waved his hand at the intermediate Saint Celestial Stage cultivator and said, "Have you been in contact with anyone from the Zhao family in the past 3 days?" "No." The intermediate Saint Celestial Stage cultivator stuttered when he was caught by the azure-clad man. "No." The azure-clad man raised an eyebrow as he extended his perception to probe the intermediate Saint Celestial Stage cultivator. After a while, the azure-clad man's expression turned cold as he said, "I, Zhao Tian, hate liars the most. You're challenging my patience." Plop! The intermediate Saint Celestial Stage cultivator fell to his knees and said in a trembling voice, "Young Master Tian, I didn't mean to lie to you. Recently, Zhao Tian would spare the lives of the servants from the Zhao family. However, Zhao Tian had always been cruel to outsiders. With just one move, the intermediate Saint Celestial Stage cultivator was brutally killed." Gasp! The surrounding cultivators gasped when they saw the intermediate Saint Celestial Stage cultivator being killed in a domineering manner. They had all heard of Zhao Tian. There were 3 major clans in Kuan-Su City: the Su clan, the Zhao clan, and the Amo clan. As the 3rd young master of the Zhao clan, not only was Zhao Tian powerful, but he was also extremely cruel. Those who offended him would not have a good ending. Zhao Tian did not care what the others thought of him. He waved his hand at the other cultivators and said, You, and you answer this question. Young Master Tian, I came into contact with the servants of the Zhao clan the day before yesterday. I met the 2nd young master at a restaurant. I secretly came into contact with a servant of the Zhao clan." The people who were pointed out by Zhao Tian began to answer one after another. "Who the hell are you? All of you deserve to die." Zhao Tian's expression turned cold. He unleashed his aura and suppressed the surroundings. Under Zhao Tian's terrifying aura, the people who answered his question all died a horrible death. "You, come here." Zhao Tian changed his target after getting rid of the people. It was very unfortunate. This time, Zhao Tian's target was the Dark Emperor. The Dark Emperor was the only dog at the city gate. In other words, there was an unwritten rule in Kuan-Su City. Unless the beast's cultivation had reached the sacred immortal realm, it could only stay in the spatial treasure. "Me!" The Dark Emperor pointed at his nose and said, "I don't even know you, why would I go over?" Zhao Tian raised his eyebrows in slight surprise. He really could not understand why a half-step Saint Immortal Realm demonic beast dared to speak to him in such a tone. "You're very bold, I admire your courage." Zhao Tian said calmly, "Let's add meat tonight. Let's eat dog meat." The word "let" was heard. Zhao Tian stomped on the ground and charged at the Dark Emperor at a terrifying speed. The Dark Emperor did not make any move to block Zhao Tian, who was approaching him. "You're courting death." The Dark Emperor's actions caused Zhao Tian's expression to darken. He initially planned to use 10% of his strength, but now, he was using 20% of his strength to blast the Dark Emperor into pieces. Bang! However, just as Zhao Tian thought he could kill the Dark Emperor, a figure suddenly appeared. Ning Lu. The cultivator who made a move this time was not Ning Yu, but Ning Lu. The two fists collided. Ning Lu stood where he was and did not move. On the other hand, Zhao Tian was sent flying and landed heavily on the ground. Ah! Zhao Tian raised his head and let out a furious roar. He immediately got up and said to Ning Lu coldly, "You're finished. No one in this world can save you." Who is this person? Could it be someone from the Mo family or the Su family? It's hard to say. The other families don't dare to make Zhao Tian their enemy. In my opinion, this guy is a brute. If he offends the Zhao family, his family will probably be destroyed. Humph. Does he really think he's that powerful? Zhao Tian definitely didn't use his full strength. Seeing Zhao Tian's anger, the surrounding onlookers started to discuss. The thoughts of these onlookers were very unique. Not only did they not help Ning Yu and the others, they even mocked them. It seemed. Chapter 2286. Good. In front of the entire city gate, the most excited person was Su He. The Zhao family was one of the three great families of Kuan-Su City, and Zhao Tian was the third young master of the Zhao family. Ning Yu and the rest offended Zhao Tian, and they were destined to suffer. "You guys will die this time." The corners of Su He's mouth involuntarily curled up. Although no one came forward to help Zhao Tian for the time being, Su He believed that as long as Zhao Tian's life was in danger, there would definitely be experts of the Zhao family. After all, Zhao Tian's position in the Zhao family was not low. He was the third peerless genius of the Zhao family. Ning Yu did not know what Su He was thinking, nor did he care. He moved his feet and stood in front of Zhao Tian. He said indifferently, "We have no enmity with you in the past. Why are you targeting us?" "Humph, now you know to give in?" Zhao Tian clearly misunderstood Ning Yu's meaning. He snorted coldly and said, "If you want to live, there is only one chance. That is to kneel down and kowtow a few times. The men will be slaves, the women." Halfway through his words, Zhao Tian felt a sweetness in his throat, followed by a spurt of dark red blood. "I gave you face, but you don't want it." Ning Yu chased up, the terrifying force in his body gathered on his fist, and punched towards Zhao Tian's head. "You dare!" Looking at the fist that was constantly approaching him, Zhao Tian raised his head and shouted, "I am the third young master of the Zhao family. If you kill me, no one in the world can save you." Noisy. Seeing that the fist was about to hit Zhao Tian's head, Ning Yu suddenly moved his fist to the side and punched Zhao Tian's chest. Crack, crack, crack. The intense pain from his chest caused Zhao Tian to fly out in a straight line. A series of crisp sounds rang out. Several ribs in Zhao Tian's chest were broken on the spot. A hysterical scream came out of Zhao Tian's mouth. His already weak aura became even weaker at this time. "Go, all of you go!" Zhao Tian raised his head and roared, as if he had gone mad. "Whoever can take them down, I will reward them with 10 heaven pills and promise that they will join the Zhao family." Voila! It had to be said. Zhao Tian's conditions were too tempting. How precious was the lower heaven pill! If an ordinary Saint Immortal Realm martial artist could obtain 10 heaven pills, there was a high possibility that they could raise their cultivation by a level. Of course, although the lower heaven pill was precious, it was not enough to make everyone go crazy over it. The craziest thing was the condition to join the Zhao clan. The Zhao family was one of the 3 great clans of Kuan-Su City. Joining the Zhao family meant that one would be like a fish leaping over the dragon's gate. Whoosh! As the saying goes, there will always be brave men under great rewards. The onlookers, who were still watching the show, all jumped up and rushed out. Some of them rushed towards Ningyu, while others rushed towards Ningroad. In fact, some of them even charged towards the Dark Emperor and Hongyu. The sins of heaven can be forgiven, but the sins of oneself cannot be forgiven. Ningyu's face turned cold. These onlookers really didn't even want their faces anymore. He was still shivering when he was surrounded by Zhao Tian. But now, he was actually helping Zhao Tian instead. Ningyu had never held back against such people. Red Demon Sword. With a low roar, Ningyu took out the Red Demon Sword and waved it again and again. Hua! In an instant, several sword auras swept out, covering the sky and earth as they descended from the 9 heavens. In just an instant, 3 onlookers were beheaded. What? How can he be so strong? That goes without saying. How can he be weak if he dares to clash with Zhao Tian? Then what should we do? What else can we do? There are wolves in front and tigers behind. We can only fight to the death. If we don't succeed, we'll die. That's right, fight to the death, kill Ningyu, join the Zhao clan, and become a person above all others. At first, seeing Ningyu kill the 3 onlookers in a domineering manner, the rest of the onlookers all had livid expressions and were extremely unsightly. They were even a little annoyed at themselves for being too impulsive. But now, they knew that they were forced to the edge of the cliff. If they didn't kill Ningyu, they would definitely offend Zhao Tian. Compared to Zhao Tian, they were more willing to be enemies with Ningyu. Voila! Many onlookers dashed out again. Rumble! This time, the onlookers didn't hold back at all. All of them unleashed their trump cards. All kinds of spells and battle techniques were unleashed in the air. Kill! Ningyu bellowed. He injected the divine qi in his body into the Red Demon Sword and slashed out several sword auras again. Pft, 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 several crisp sounds were heard. The result was very obvious. The arrogant onlookers in the air spat out mouthfuls of blood and fell to the ground. Hiss! Seeing that, the rest of the people who wanted to make a move but didn't have time to do so all sucked in a cold breath. They knew that Ningyu was strong, but they didn't expect him to be that strong. He defeated dozens of sage immortals with one move. That combat power alone was enough to enter the top 10,000 of the Lord of Heaven substitute list. No, 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 we surrender. Yes, we are willing to forsake the darkness for the light. I'm innocent. It's all Zhao Tian's fault. He bewitched us. At the critical moment, in order to survive, the onlookers all pointed their fingers at Zhao Tian. Swish! Ningyu immediately stopped. He pointed at Zhao Tian and said calmly, "I'll give you a chance to live. Whoever kills Zhao Tian will live." This, hearing Ningyu's words. The eyes of the onlookers widened and their faces were full of shock. Apart from shock, the onlookers were all in a daze. Whether it was Ningyu or Zhao Tian, they were both hard to deal with. Offending anyone would be a disaster for them. Now that Ningyu gave them a choice, which one should they choose? Ningyu didn't give the onlookers any pressure. He crossed his arms in front of his chest and looked at Zhao Tian with interest, wanting to see what Zhao Tian would choose. Very well, you've completely infuriated me. Zhao Tian took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down. He looked at Ningyu coldly and said, "In Kuansu City, you're the first person who dared to anger me. Young Master Tian, I'm sorry." At this moment, the onlookers finally made a decision. A wise man submits to the circumstances. It was obviously irrational to be an enemy of Ningyu. There was a saying that where there is life, there is hope. Crash! Many onlookers rushed toward Zhao Tian at once. Damn it! Looking at the onlookers who kept rushing toward him, Zhao Tian's face became extremely cold. For the first time, he felt that his prestige was affected. Cursing, Zhao Tian reached into his arms and took out a Heavenly Lord talisman. Explode! Accompanied by a low shout. The Heavenly Lord talisman instantly exploded in the crowd. The terrifying shock wave caused the onlookers to let out hysterical screams. Humph! Overestimating yourself. With a cold snort, Zhao Tian took a step forward and said to Ningyu, "The mountains will not change and the rivers will flow. We'll meet again." Swish. While speaking. Chapter 2287. Go after him! Seeing Zhao Tian leave, Su He hurriedly said, "Zhao Tian is the third young master of the Zhao family. If we let him go, there will be endless trouble." Ningyu looked back at Zhao Tian and raised his eyebrows. "I mean, Zhao Tian is ruthless and vengeful." Seeing that Ningyu was looking at him, Su He's voice gradually became softer. In the end, he didn't say anything. "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask," Ningyu said indifferently and then entered Kuan-Su City. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Behind Ningyu, the Dark Emperor Hong Yu and the others didn't dare to delay and followed closely. "What are you waiting for?" Ning Lu kicked Su He's butt and said, "If it weren't for the fact that you still have some use, you would have become a pile of bones by now." Yes. Although he was very angry, Su He didn't dare to show it. He hurriedly nodded and followed Ning Lu to Kuan-Su City. Whoosh! Until a long time after Ning Yu and the others left. In front of Kuan-Su City, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Whether it was Ning Yu or Zhao Tian, they gave them too much pressure. One was the third young master of the Zhao family, the other was a mysterious expert. They couldn't afford to offend either of them. Looking at the several corpses lying on the ground, the remaining martial artists felt a little lucky. Fortunately, they didn't act rashly. Otherwise, the corpses lying on the ground would most likely be them. At the same time, Kuan-Su City, Hong family. Today, the Hong family was especially lively. As for the reason, it was because Hong Ting's son, Hong Qian, was going to marry the pearl of the Sun family, Sun Lan. Although Hong Ting wasn't the master of the Hong family, with his strength and power, his position in the Hong family was even higher than that of the master. Almost all the second-rate families in Kuan-Su City were present for his son's wedding. Even one of the three major families, the Zhao family, sent people to congratulate them. At this time, in front of the Hong family, buzz. Space surged and then, an old and a young martial artist appeared from the void. "Elder Zhao's arrival brings light to my humble abode." As soon as these two martial artists appeared, a figure dashed out from the Hong clan. Obviously, the martial artist who came out was Hong Ting. Hong Ting cupped his fists and said to the old man, "Please come in. There's no need for our two families to be so distant." The old man called Elder Zhao smiled faintly and said, "Tens of thousands of years ago, it was fortunate that Heavenly Lord Redrise blocked a move for the Zhao family's patriarch. Otherwise, how could the Zhao family have its current glory? Let's not talk about the past. Elder Zhao, please come in." Hong Ting knew himself very well. Even though the Hong clan owed the Zhao clan a favor tens of thousands of years ago, the Hong clan didn't dare to ask the Zhao clan to repay the debt with the current gap between the two clans. Yes. Elder Zhao nodded and walked straight into the Hong clan. Ka. Looking at the backs of Elder Zhao and the second young master of the Zhao family, Hong Ting clenched his fists so tightly that they cracked. On the surface, the Zhao family seemed to be helping the Hong family in all aspects. The Mo family and the Su family had always maintained a neutral attitude toward the Hong family. The only one who was secretly hindering them was the Zhao family. As they were afraid that the Hong family would develop, the Zhao family would secretly suppress the Hong family whenever they had the chance, forcing the Hong family to be unable to develop. "Guards!" Apart from anger, Hong Ting said in a deep voice, "Bring Hong Yu's parents here." Buzz. The void space shook. Subsequently, Hong Ting turned and entered the Hong clan's main hall to host Hong Qian's wedding. Swoosh. The Hong clan's main hall was already packed with people. After Hong Ting entered, he didn't waste any time and said loudly, "First of all, Thank you for coming to my son's wedding. I don't want to say too much. Everyone is a guest. I hope that everyone will have a good time today. Look at what you're saying. Hong Qian's wedding, we'll definitely have a good time. That's right, Hong Qian and Sun Lan are a perfect couple. They'll definitely have many children in the future. Hurry up and ask the bride and groom to come out. We can't wait anymore. Ha ha ha, in the main hall, everyone burst into laughter, pushing the atmosphere to a climax. It's a pity. Hong Ting raised his right hand and pressed it down slowly. Before the wedding begins, I want to announce something. Swoosh. Hearing that, the entire main hall quietened down. Some of the martial artists who knew the inside story looked like they were waiting to watch a good show. As for those martial artists who didn't know the inside story, their faces were full of doubt. Bring them here. Hong Ting waved his hand and said lightly. Rustle, rustle, rustle. 2 Hong clan guards appeared at the main entrance of the main hall, each carrying a martial artist. Not long after, the 2 martial artists were pressed onto a high platform built in the main hall. Hong Deguang? Wu Shushi? Seeing the 2 martial artists who were being escorted, most of the people in the main hall were shocked. At this moment, even those who didn't know the inside story could guess some clues. In the Hong clan, Hong Ting had always been at odds with Hong Deguang. A few days ago, I discovered that I lost a Heavenly Lord talisman. Hong Ting swept his gaze across the main hall and said, At first, I thought it was stolen by a hostile force. However, after a secret investigation, I found out that it was a traitor. I don't think I need to say it. Everyone knows who the traitor is. That's right. The traitor is Hong Deguang and Wu Shushi's daughter, Hong Yu. Hong Ting's sudden change of words surprised everyone. Some martial artists even had their mouths agape, their faces filled with disbelief. Hong Yu stole the Heavenly Lord talisman? If it was Hong Deguang and Wu Shushi who did it, they might believe it. However, Hong Yu was so weak, how could she steal the Heavenly Lord talisman? One had to know. Hong Ting's overall strength was enough to rank top 5 in the Hong clan. Of course, although everyone was doubtful, they didn't dare to show it. Hong Ting, I really want to know how Hong Yu stole the Heavenly Lord talisman. Zhao clan's second young master, Zhao Tai, who was next to old Zhao, asked indifferently. Others didn't dare to ask, but Zhao Tai didn't have any concerns. As the second young master of the Zhao clan, one of the 3 major clans, Zhao Tai had always been unrestrained. Furthermore, Zhao Tai had some understanding of Hong Ting's character. 80%. Hong Ting wanted to use the Heavenly Lord talisman to get rid of his nemesis, Hong Deguang and Wu Shushi. Young Master Tai, I happened to be out that day and left the Heavenly Lord talisman in the room. Unexpectedly, Hong Yu sneaked in and stole the Heavenly Lord talisman. Hong Ting cupped his fists and answered, You're lying. However, at this moment, a loud shout suddenly came from outside the main hall. Bang! The next moment, the 2 guards in charge of guarding the hall were sent flying backward. A few martial artists slowly appeared in front of everyone in the main hall. Hong Yu. Hong Ting was a little surprised to see the woman in red who was glaring at him at the front. He would never have imagined that Hong Yu would come out of the evil spirit battlefield alive. After all. Chapter 2288. Hong Yu? She's Hong Yu, the one who stole the Heavenly Lord talisman? I think so. But why does the person next to her look familiar? Of course he looks familiar. He's the peerless genius of the Su clan, Su He. Swoosh. Hearing the last warrior's words, everyone in the hall shifted their gazes to Su He, who was behind Hong Yu. Su clan, Zhao clan, and Mo clan. They were the top 3 clans in Kuan-Su City. Among them, Su He was stronger than the second young master of the Zhao clan, Zhao Tai. Why would Su He appear behind Hong Yu? Could it be that Hong Yu had found Su He as a helper? Thinking of this, All the martial artists in the hall looked at Hong Ting. At this moment, Hong Ting's expression was as ugly as it could be. He did not expect this to happen. He thought that Hong Yu would die in the evil spirit battlefield. Not only did she not die, she even found Su He as a helper. There's something wrong with Su He. Zhao Tai stared at Su He and said in a low voice, I don't feel any powerful aura from him. You mean, Su He is being controlled? Old Zhao frowned and asked hesitantly. It's hard to say for now. Zhao Tai took a deep breath and said, Su He's position in the Su clan is not low and he has many trump cards. Unless a Lord of Heaven takes action, it will be difficult to control him. Let's wait and see. Old Zhao thought about it and said, Hong Ting is not to be trifled with. Even with Su He's help, Hong Yu will not be able to do much today. Of course. Zhao Tai nodded. Since Hong Ting dared to attack Hong Deguang at his son's wedding, it meant that he had an absolute trump card. One should know. The Hong clan was the leader among the second-rate clans. As long as Hong Ting gave the order, many clan masters of the second-rate clans would take action personally to get rid of Hong Yu. Traitor, hurry up and surrender. Hong Ting took a step forward and exerted his aura to suppress Hong Yu. He said coldly, kneel down and admit your mistake now, and I might leave your corpse intact. Chi. Hong Ting's cultivation had reached the peak of the Saint Immortal realm. His overall strength could even be ranked in the top 5 of the Hong family. Even Hong Yu at her peak couldn't resist the pressure of his aura, let alone now. Hong Ting released his aura with a clear purpose. He wanted to see if Su He was on Hong Yu's side. If Su He had not joined forces with Hong Yu, he could have killed Hong Yu. If Su He and Hong Yu had joined hands, he would immediately stop. As his aura gradually approached the Crimson Moon, Hong Ting's mood became better and better. Although Su He was standing behind Hong Yu, he was indifferent to the oppressive aura he released. This situation made Hong Ting feel a little less worried. Without the help of the Void River, what could the Crimson Moon do? Boom. However, dreams were plentiful, but reality was harsh. Just when Hong Ting thought his aura was about to crush Hong Yu, another aura that was not weaker than his suddenly appeared in front of Hong Yu and collided with his aura. Poochie. The two auras collided. It was obvious that his aura was a notch weaker. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Hong Ting flew backward in a straight line. Hong Ting only stopped when he retreated to Hong Deguang's side. Damn it! Hong Ting cursed in his heart and his face was extremely gloomy. Who are you? Hong Ting clenched his fists and stared at the man next to Hong Yu. He said coldly, Why are you meddling in our Hong family's family affairs? Family affairs? Ning Yu protected Hong Yu behind him and said calmly, I heard that you have already expelled Hong Yu from the Hong family. Since Hong Yu is not a member of the Hong family, what family affairs are you talking about? Sharp-tongued. Hong Ting's nose was crooked. Men, take him down for me. Next. Hong Ting waved his hand and shouted in a deep voice, Whoever can kill him, I am willing to take out a heaven elixir on behalf of the Hong family. Swoosh. Hong Ting's words caused an uproar in the main hall. Heaven elixir? An ordinary third-rate family might have a few heaven elixirs. However, how precious was the heaven elixir? Not to mention third-rate families, even some of the newly promoted second-rate families did not have heaven elixirs. Now that Hong Ting said that he was willing to take out a heaven elixir, the second-rate family masters in the main hall could still sit still. However, the third-rate family masters were eager to give it a try. However, the scene of Ning Yu blocking Hong Ting with ease was still vivid in their minds. None of the third-rate family masters were the first to rush out. 2 heaven elixirs. Seeing that no one was going to make a move, Hong Ting extended 2 fingers and said coldly, Whoever can injure him, I am willing to take out 2 heaven elixirs on behalf of the Hong family as a reward. Rumble. If the third-rate family masters were still hesitant earlier on, they had thrown all their concerns to the back of their minds now. The reward that Hong Ting took out had increased from 1 heaven elixir to 2. Their target had also changed from killing Ningyu to injuring him severely. Who would be willing to give up such a good opportunity? Swoosh. Hence, the third-rate family masters in the main hall, who thought that they were powerful, rushed out and charged at Ningyu. They were afraid that Ningyu would be severely injured by others if they were a step too late. The ignorant are fearless. Looking at the numerous martial artists charging at him, Ningyu's face was expressionless. With a flick of his wrist, he took out the red demon sword. He injected the immortal chi in his body into the red demon sword and slashed out. Whoosh! Several rays of sword radiance separated from the red demon sword. Kid, remember in your next life that there are some people you can never afford to offend. What bullsh *T sword radiance. The heaven elixir belongs to me. Feeling the sword radiance from Ningyu's slash, the third-rate family masters were all excited. They could almost see the heaven elixir waving at them. In an instant, the sound of blood spurting could be heard. Ningyu stood on the spot without moving, while the patriarchs of the third-rate clans that were charging at him were struck by the sword light. Their bodies fell to the ground. Crack, crack, crack. In an instant, the dozen or so third-rate family masters that were charging at Ningyu were all defeated and laid flat on the ground like dead dogs. Whoosh! Zhao Tai stood up with a swish, his face filled with shock when he saw Ningyu defeat a couple of clan heads in one move. He thought that Ningyu had some trump card when he resisted Hong Ting's aura just now. But now Ningyu had defeated several family masters with a single move, which made him look at Ningyu in a different light. Is he really a half-step saint immortal? Zhao Tai unleashed his senses and locked onto Ningyu. He must be pretending to be weak. Elder Zhao's expression was solemn too. However, he did not think that Ningyu's cultivation was a half-step saint immortal. In his opinion, Ningyu's cultivation was at least a peak saint immortal. Chapter 2289. Everyone, he's already here. Are you going to just stand by and watch? Hong Ting's face darkened to the extreme when he saw the clan leaders of the third-rate clans being defeated. He said to the clan leaders of the second-rate clans in the hall, "This brat is audacious. He even dares to offend the Hong clan, let alone your clans." Swoosh! Hong Ting's words caused the expressions of the few second-rate clans' clan leaders to turn cold. Everyone knew that Ningyu was powerful. Hong Ting's intention was obvious. He wanted them to be cannon fodder. Although they were the clan masters of the second-rated families, their overall strength was much weaker than Hong Ting's. Even someone as powerful as Hong Ting did not dare to fight with Ningyu. What was the difference between them charging forward and committing suicide? However, with Hong Ting here, they had no choice but to take action. All unrelated people, please leave as soon as possible. I don't want to engage in a senseless killing. How could Hong Ting's plan be hidden from Ningyu? The culprit was Hong Ting. Ningyu did not want to have a conflict with the other clan masters of the second-rated families. After all, his purpose of coming to Kuan-Su City was not to offend anyone but to find Su Ying. This, the clan masters of the second-rated families hesitated. To be honest, if not for Hong Ting's pressure, they would have left long ago. Why would they stay until now? No one wanted to die if they could stay alive. A bunch of good-for-nothings. Hong Ting bellowed and said loudly, "The 4 heavenly kings." Swoosh, swoosh, as Hong Ting's voice fell. 4 martial artists suddenly tore the void apart and appeared in the hall. What? The 4 heavenly kings of the Hong family are still alive? Didn't they say they died in battle? Why are they still alive? The 4 heavenly kings are from the same generation as Lord of Heaven Hong Su. They followed Lord of Heaven Hong Su, and all of their cultivations have reached the half-step Heavenly Lord realm. What should we do? What else can we do? Attack, of course. Ningyu broke into the Hong family. Kill him. Swoosh. After the so-called 4 heavenly kings appeared, the patriarchs of the second-rate families roared and rushed out as if they were on steroid. Pu. Just as these second-rate family heads rushed out, the void trembled, and an afterimage flashed past them. He spat out several mouthfuls of blood. Inside the hall, all the patriarchs of the second-tier clans were lying on the ground, their bodies twitching. "Who is it?" The sudden change caused Hong Ting's face to turn extremely dark. He coldly said, "How sneaky. You don't dare to show your face." "As you wish." An indifferent voice rang in Hong Ting's ears. Immediately after, Hong Ting felt his body lighten as he was sent flying backward. Bang! It only stopped when it hit the wall. Buzz! No one paid attention to Hong Ting's miserable state. Instead, they shifted their gazes to the center of the hall. Over there, a demonic beast revealed a disdainful expression. This demonic beast had 2 horns on its head and a pair of wings on its back. Twin-horned demonic beast. That's right, the beast was Rong Tianjuan's mount, the double-horned beast. He entered Kuan-Su City before Ning Yu and the others, wanting to see a few old friends. Unfortunately, his old friends were all in seclusion, which made him feel a little disappointed. In the end, he had no choice but to search for Ning Yu's aura. As soon as he found the Hong family, he realized that Ning Yu was in a very dangerous situation. Therefore, without saying a word, he directly attacked and forced Hong Ting to retreat. After repelling Hong Ting, the double-horned beast raised its eyebrows at Ning Yu, as if it was asking for credit. SSS. Everyone felt the aura of the double-horned beast. Everyone in the hall sucked in a breath of cold air. Even Zhao Tai and Elder Zhao had a serious look on their faces. There was only one reason. The pressure exerted by the 2-horned demonic beast was simply too great. It was so great that even their breathing was a little hurried. This demonic beast's strength is at least in the top 500 of the Heavenly Lord's substitute role. Zhao Tai immediately calmed himself down and didn't dare to look at the double-horned beast. Zhao Tai knew his own limits. Although he was strong enough to be in the top 5,000 of the Heavenly Lord's substitute role, he would only die if he fought against the double-horned beast. "Go, all of you! Skin him alive!" Hong Ting got up from the ground and roared, "I want to see him die with my own eyes!" Whoosh! The 4 heavenly kings were like puppets. After hearing Hong Ting's order, they immediately dashed towards the double-horned beast from 4 directions. The 4 heavenly kings were extremely powerful. If they challenged the Heavenly Lord's substitute role, they would probably be in the top 3,000 or even the top 2,000. However, how could such a ranking enter the eyes of the twin-horned demonic beast? The double-horned beast would not be afraid even if it was 1,000 or 100, let alone 2,000. Bang, 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 bang. In the blink of an eye, 4 beams of cold light shot out from the double-horned beast's head. Each beam of cold light hit the head of a heavenly king. 4 crisp sounds rang out one after another. The 4 heavenly kings fell to the ground. One move. The double-horned beast had defeated the 4 heavenly kings with just one move. In the hall, everyone was dumbfounded and stood rooted to the ground. At first, only Ning Yu was strong enough to be on par with Hong Ting. However, at this time, an even stronger double-horned beast appeared. For a moment, the martial artists in the hall were a little shaken. Should they continue to stand with Hong Ting, or should they turn to Ning Yu? It was a difficult choice. Very good, very good. Hong Ting looked at the 4 heavenly kings on the ground like dead dogs and his face became extremely hideous. "Come out!" Hong Ting raised his head and roared, "Set up the indestructible divine formation!" Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As Hong Ting's words rang out, 3 old men in gray robes suddenly appeared out of thin air. After the 3 old men came out, they did not idle around. Instead, they kept taking out things and throwing them into the air. Boom! It only took 10 seconds. Just like that, a terrifying formation was set up. The entire hall was shrouded in it. Everyone who offends the Hong clan will not have a good ending. Hong Ting waved his hand and said in a deep voice, "Today, I'll show you the resources that the Hong clan should have as a first-tier clan. Oh no, it's the indestructible divine formation. Hong Ting, we have no feud with you. Why did you trap us in the indestructible divine formation? Yeah, we've always been on the Hong clan's side. The indestructible divine formation attacks indiscriminately. Everyone trapped inside will be attacked by it. Let us out." In the hall, the martial artists yelled. "What's with the noise?" Hong Ting's face turned cold and he said coldly, "Your lives are in my hands. You can only live if I let you live. If I want you dead, all of you will die." Chapter 2290. Swoosh. Hong Ting's threatening words caused the martial artists in the main hall to look terrible. This was too much. Obviously, this was Hong Ting's real purpose. His son's wedding was just an excuse. Even if Hong Yu did not appear, Hong Ting would definitely activate the indestructible formation to trap them and force them to submit to the Hong clan and become a subordinate force of the Hong clan. "Why, you don't seem to want to make a move?" Seeing that no one was willing to deal with Ningyu, Hong Ting raised his eyebrows and said indifferently, "My patience is limited. I'll give you one last minute. By then I will, no need." At this moment, an old man in blue took a step forward and said in a deep voice, "Hong Ting, you have wild ambitions. How dare you try to control us? Even if we submit to Ningyu, we will never submit to you." "Is that so?" Hong Ting's lips curled up. He moved his mind and began to control the indestructible formation. Swoosh. In an instant, a streak of cold light shot out at an extremely terrifying speed towards the blue-robed old man who had just spoken. Although the old man in blue was the clan leader of a second-rate family and was powerful, however, he was still defenseless against the attack of the indestructible formation. Fresh blood spurted out. The old man in blue was like a kite with a broken string, falling straight to the ground. Puss! Seeing the old man in blue being defeated in a single move, the remaining martial artists' faces turned ghastly pale. One had to know. The old man in blue was one of the top few among them. Even someone as powerful as the old man in blue could be defeated in one move, let alone them. Opportunities are always given to those who are prepared. Glancing at the old man in blue who was lying on the ground like a dead dog, Hong Ting said indifferently, "Last 30 seconds. Tick, tick." Time was ticking away. With every passing second, the remaining martial artists' expressions became more and more unsightly. Submit to Ningyu and submit to Hong Ting. This difficult choice was presented to them once again. "I'm willing to make a move." 10 seconds later, a patriarch dressed in green robes from a second-rate family roared as he charged towards the Dark Emperor. In the eyes of the green-robed patriarch, Ningyu was not someone to be trifled with, and neither was Hong Yu. The rest of the martial artists were exceptionally strong. He searched back and forth. Only the black dog fit the bill. He family? What was very unfortunate was that this second-rate family's patriarch, who was rushing towards the Dark Emperor, was the patriarch of the He family, He Donghao. There's a path to heaven, but you don't want to go. There's no door to hell, but you barge in. Ning Yu's face was expressionless. He clenched his right fist and punched out. How powerful was Ning Yu? Not to mention He Donghao, even the ancestor of the He family, White Crane Immortal, died tragically in the hands of Ningyu. Ningyu did not even need to use his full strength against He Donghao. Kacha! 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 A crisp sound rang out. Using less than 10% of his strength, He Donghao's ribs were broken by the explosion. Bang! He Donghao fell heavily on the ground. His breath was weak, and he could only exhale but not inhale. Seeing He Donghao's miserable state, within the indestructible god formation, Those patriarchs who wanted to attack all chose to stop. Ningyu was not a pushover either. Offending Ningyu was no better than offending Hongting. I choose to rely on Ningyu. Since ancient times, a wise man submits to the circumstances. For these people to become the patriarchs of second-rate families, they naturally had their own strength. After He Donghao's defeat, the remaining patriarchs only thought for 3 seconds, and 5 of them chose to rely on Ningyu. In the main hall, there were 8 second-rate family patriarchs left, and 5 of them chose to rely on Ningyu, which meant that only 3 chose to rely on Hongting. Ka ka ka. Hongting clenched his right fist, and cracking sounds could be heard. If this was before he used the indestructible god formation, Hongting might have felt that it was normal. After all, the strength that Ningyu displayed made even him a little fearful. However, all of this happened after he used the indestructible god formation. Could it be that these second-rate family patriarchs thought that Ningyu could go against the indestructible god formation? You chose your own path. As for the result, don't blame me. Hongting took a deep breath and waved his hands, trying to activate the indestructible god formation. Swoosh. However, at this moment, Zhao Tai moved. With both feet on the ground, Zhao Tai came to Hongting's side in an instant. He clenched his right fist and punched at Hongting's heart. "What are you trying to do?" Hongting shouted in fear. Zhao Tai's attack was ruthless, and he did not hold back at all. Hongting had no choice but to activate the power of the indestructible god formation to resist Zhao Tai's attack. However, Zhao Tai was obviously prepared. He took out a Heavenly Lord talisman and detonated it on the spot. Boom! The exploding Heavenly Lord talisman broke the indestructible god formation. As for Hongting, he was hit by the terrifying shockwave, and his body was sent flying backward. Bam! Just as Hongting was about to fall to the ground, the void beside him suddenly cracked open. A skinny hand caught him. "Elder!" Hongting's pupils constricted when he turned around and saw the elder's face. His expression changed from desolation to excitement. There was no other reason. The hunchbacked elder was the Hong clan's elder, Heavenly Lord Hong Su. "You're finally willing to come out." It was obvious that Zhao Tai had expected this. The corner of his lips curled up. "Everyone said that you died tens of thousands of years ago. Now it seems like you've lied to everyone." "It's not the same. I didn't lie to you." Heavenly Lord Hong Su's expression was emotionless as he said, "You shouldn't have come. I didn't want to kill anyone, but you just had to send yourself to your death." "I'm here to die," Zhao Tai sneered. "Heavenly Lord Hong Su, it's not like it was tens of thousands of years ago. I'm in the prime of my life, but you're old." "Ha ha ha!" Hong Su suddenly threw his head back and laughed maniacally. His laughter was very arrogant. After laughing maniacally, Hong Su's lips curled into an evil smile. "What prime? You're just struggling at death's door. What are they talking about? Why don't I understand?" As Hong Su and Zhao Tai were conversing, the Dark Emperor came to Ningyu's side and asked curiously. Ningyu rolled his eyes and explained, "What's there to understand? There's an unparalleled expert hiding on Zhao Tai." "Unparalleled expert?" The Dark Emperor frowned and began to observe Zhao Tai closely. It was a pity. No matter how the Dark Emperor observed, he couldn't find anything wrong. "Double-horned beast, didn't you say that you have a wide network? Do you know the Heavenly Lord hiding on Zhao Tai?" Ignoring the Dark Emperor's doubts, Ningyu raised his brows at the double-horned beast. Chapter 2291. Pardon me for asking, what is your ranking on the Heavenly Monarch substitute list? Ningyu stared at the double-horned demonic beast with interest and asked. "At least 25th. The double-horned demonic beast was just about to answer, but when it saw Ningyu's half-smiling expression, it was instantly enraged. Ningyu was obviously mocking it. "If we really fight, it's hard to tell who will win and who will lose. The double-horned demonic beast said angrily, "Human martial artists are all wax figures with silver spears. Nice to look at but useless. The show has just begun." Ningyu shrugged and said indifferently, "Crack." As Ningyu expected. As soon as he finished speaking, the void trembled and suddenly split open. Then, an old man in gray clothes appeared in front of everyone. "Sun family patriarch, Sun Hao." "Haha, Zhao Fuqiang, why don't you show your true face?" Sun Hao flew in front of Hong Su and said to Zhao Tai with a smile, "Could it be that you're afraid?" "Humph! Why would I be afraid of you?" Zhao Tai snorted coldly, and then his body began to spin rapidly. Whoosh! Zhao Tai's spinning speed was very fast. As he spun, an illusory figure gradually appeared beside him. "Zhao family heavenly monarch, Zhao Fuqiang. I've waited for this day for hundreds of years. Today you finally can't help but make a move." Hong Su licked his lips and said, "Brother Sun and I can work together to capture you very easily. As long as I refine you, not only can I recover, but even Brother Sun can also improve further." "Want to capture me?" Zhao Fuqiang said sinisterly. "Even if I stand here and let you attack, you will definitely not be able to break my defense." Crack, crack, crack. As they spoke, a dark golden armor appeared on Zhao Fuqiang's body. Heavenly Monarch Armor. Seeing the armor that appeared on Zhao Fuqiang's body, Hong Su and Sun Hao's faces became somewhat ugly. Especially Hong Su, his face was gloomy to the extreme. For this, he had waited for hundreds of years. Jiang Yi originally thought that he could take down Zhao Fu easily. After all, his overall strength was ranked around 24th on the Heaven Monarch substitute list. As for Sun Hao, although he was not a heavenly lord, he was ranked around 26th. Who would have thought? Zhao Fu actually had the Heaven Monarch armor. "You didn't expect this, did you?" "Zhao clan's patriarch gave me the Heaven Monarch armor." Zhao Fu laughed sinisterly. "Let me give all of you a piece of advice. Hurry up and surrender. Otherwise, I can't guarantee what will happen." "You want us to surrender?" "In your next life." Hong Su's expression was extremely gloomy and cold. His feet stepped on the ground, rushing out rapidly. Since he had prepared for so long, he would definitely fight Zhao Fuqiang to the death. Furthermore, Hong Su directly burned his blood essence to increase his strength. As long as he could get those Zhao Fuqiang, everything would be worth it. Hong Ting, activate the Hong clan's extermination divine formation immediately and prevent anyone from leaving. As Hong Su attacked, he instructed Hong Ting, "As long as one of you leaves, I will deal with you." Yes. Hong Ting did not dare to delay any longer. He immediately turned around and flew outside. However, there were so many people in the main hall. How could they just watch Hong Ting leave? The first to attack were the clan masters of the second-rate clans who had submitted to Ningyu. They joined forces to launch a powerful attack against Hong Ting. Although Hong Ting was powerful, he could not withstand the number of people who besieged him. Moreover, he had suffered a serious injury previously. Bang! In just 3 moves, Hong Ting was captured. Courting death. In midair. When Hong Su saw that Hong Ting was captured, he cursed and immediately waved his palm, throwing out a ray of cold light. Swoosh! Ningyu casually waved his palm and blocked the cold light that Hong Su threw out. To Ningyu, since these clan masters of the second-rate clans had submitted to him, he naturally would not stand idly by. Moreover, he was alone in Kuan-Su City and did not have any background. The Su clan was known as the most powerful clan in Kuan-Su City. If he wanted to go to the Su clan to look for Suing, he must have his own forces. "So you have helpers?" Seeing that his cold light was easily blocked, Hong Su's face darkened to the extreme. It was obvious. He mistook Ningyu for Zhao Fuqiang's helpers. Helpers? Zhao Fuqiang was a little puzzled. Where did he get helpers from? Originally, he wanted to bring the experts of the Zhao clan over. But after thinking it over, he did not do so in the end. After all, Hong Su was a Heaven Monarch expert many years ago and still had connections. If he attacked the Hong clan rashly, it was likely to backfire. Stop quibbling. Even if you have helpers, you still have to die today, Hong Su said fiercely. Rumble. As they spoke, Hong Su and Sun Hao joined forces and attacked Zhao Fuqiang. Because Zhao Fuqiang had the Heaven Monarch armor, he was not at a disadvantage even when facing Hong Su and Sun Hao. Ningyu did not pay too much attention to the battle between Hong Su and Sun Hao in midair. His attention was placed on Hong Ting. To be precise, he was attracted by something on Hong Ting's body. Hand it over. Moving his feet, Ningyu came in front of Hong Ting and said indifferently, You should know that with your strength, you can't keep it. No way. Hong Ting gritted his teeth and said, I can't give it to you. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Ningyu's expression turned completely cold. He raised his right leg and kicked on Hong Ting's chest. Crack. His ribs that were already broken broke several more times. Let me do it. Ning Lu patted on Ningyu's shoulder and shook his head lightly, saying, If you make a move, it might be exposed. Don't worry, it won't be exposed. I know what I'm doing. Ningyu smiled at Ning Lu and then squatted beside Hong Ting, saying in a low voice, If I release the news that you possess the World Tree Branch, what do you think the consequences will be, you? Hong Ting's face turned pale instantly. That small section of the World Tree on him was obtained by chance. If the news was leaked, what awaited him was only death. Open your mind and let me control it. Ningyu said indifferently, I have a habit. I've always annihilated my enemies, but I've always treated my friends very well. Hong Ting's eyes flickered and he was struggling internally. Whether he handed over the World Tree Branch or not, it would be extremely dangerous for him. All right, I'm willing to hand over the World Tree Branch to you, but you have to ensure my safety. After much thought, Hong Ting grit his teeth and said, Otherwise, I won't give it to you even if I have to destroy it. He could tell. Hong Ting felt like he had nothing to lose now. You have no choice. Ningyu shrugged. Ningyu was not worried that Hong Ting would destroy the World Tree Branch. After all, if Hong Ting wanted to destroy it, he would have done so long ago and not wait until now. People like Hong Ting were extremely afraid of death. All right, I'm willing to open my mind. Chapter 2292. Swish. Ningyu did not hesitate at all. A stream of soul power suddenly shot out of his body and entered Hong Ting's mind in the blink of an eye. Boom. Hong Ting's face was ashen when he sensed the soul power in his mind. Hong Ting knew very well. From now on, his life was completely in the hands of Ningyu. He could only live if Ningyu let him live. If Ningyu let him die, he would definitely die. A wise man submits to the circumstances. That was the best way to describe Hong Ting. Since he was already under Ningyu's control, Hong Ting no longer struggled and threw a space ring to Ningyu. But Ningyu raised his right hand and caught the ring steadily. It really is the World Tree Branch. Ningyu released his perception and slightly probed the situation inside the ring. He nodded in satisfaction. The World Tree Branch might not be of much use in Hong Ting's hands. However, it could shine in the hands of Ning Yu and Ning Lu. There was no other reason. Ning Lu's true form was the World Tree, and Ning Yu could refine it in passing. Take it. After checking the World Tree Branch in the ring, Ning Yu threw it to Ning Lu. Relatively speaking, the effect of Ning Lu devouring the World Tree Branch was much better than his. Ning Yu was not someone who would take everything for himself. No matter how he looked at it, giving the World Tree Branch to Ning Lu was the best choice. Wait for me for an hour. Ning Lu did not stand on ceremony with Ningyu. He took the ring, and with a flash, he entered the Red Demon Sword. Although Ning Lu was strong, it would take him an hour to refine the World Tree Branch in the ring. After all, Hong Ting's World Tree branch was many times better than the one Ning Yu and the others had obtained previously. Crack! Crack! As soon as Ning Lu entered the Red Fiend's sword, the outcome of the battle in midair was decided. Zhao Fuqiang clenched his fists and punched the chests of Sun Hao and Hong Su while they were distracted. Two crisp sounds rang out in succession. Sun Hao and Hong Su crashed heavily onto the ground, several ribs in front of their chests broken on the spot. Damn it! Climbing up from the ground with difficulty, Hong Su's expression became extremely ugly. He had waited tens of thousands of years for this day. In fact, he even went as far as to ask for Sun Hao's help even if he had to pay a hefty price. But now not only would he not be able to defeat Zhao Fu, he might even fail miserably. Where there's life, there's hope. Sun Hao lowered his voice and said, "We'll retreat for now. We'll look for an opportunity to kill Zhao Fuqiang next time. Now that things have come to this, we can only do this." Even though Hong Su was extremely unwilling in his heart, the current him had no other choice. If he stayed and continued to fight, he might be able to achieve a Pyrrhic victory, but it was more likely that he would suffer a crushing defeat. Rather than that, it was better to retreat as soon as possible and start all over again. Go! Hong Su was not an indecisive person. He growled, then tore open the void and entered. Sun Hao also tore through the void and followed closely behind Hong Su. "You want to leave?" How could Zhao Fuqiang allow Hong Su and the others to leave? Zhao Fuqiang's mouth curved in disdain. He suddenly took off the Heavenly Monarch armor on his body and threw it into the void. Ka! 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 Not long after the Heavenly Monarch armor entered the void, there were two shadows that flew out from the void. Bang! Bang! These two shadows were none other than Hong Su and Sun Hao. The two of them were already severely injured. Facing the bombardment of the Heavenly Monarch armor, they could only be struck down from the void. Overestimating yourselves. With a shake of his wrist, Zhao Fuqiang withdrew the Heavenly Monarch armor and said indifferently, "Because of the two of your foolish actions, I've decided to exterminate everyone from the Hong and Sun clans." Swish! Zhao Fuqiang's words immediately made the Hong and Sun clans' martial artists in the Grand Hall turn pale. They felt very aggrieved that the Patriarch's mistake had to be borne by them. Plop! Under the intense desire to survive, an elder from the Hong clan knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Zhao Fuqiang continuously. He begged for mercy. "I'm willing to be your dog. Please let me go." "You want to be my dog?" Zhao Fuqiang raised his eyebrows and stretched his right leg forward slightly. He said indifferently, "Lick my shoes. Lick all the dust on them. I'm willing to serve master." Without any hesitation, this elder immediately crawled in front of Zhao Fuqiang and began to lick his shoes. After licking for a few minutes, this elder finally stopped. He looked up at Zhao Fuqiang and asked in a flattering tone, "Is master satisfied?" "NSOSO." Zhao Fuqiang nodded and said, "Stand behind Zhao Tai." "Thank you, master." Hearing this, the elder from the Hong clan revealed an ecstatic expression. He knew that his hard work and performance had made Zhao Fuqiang very satisfied. Scum! Seeing that his elder had surrendered in such a submissive manner, Hong Ting gritted his teeth with hatred. "Who else is willing to come and lick my shoes? There's only one chance. You have to seize it." Zhao Fuqiang casually pulled a chair and sat down. He stretched his legs forward and said indifferently, "If you miss this opportunity, there won't be another one." "Me? Move aside, let me do it. Let me do it. I have a family to take care of. I don't want to die yet. Get lost. I'm more handsome. Let me serve master." At this moment, whether it was the Hong clan or the Sun clan, all of them were rushing forward. They were afraid that Zhao Fuqiang would change his mind if they were one step late. The behavior of the people in the clan made Hong Ting and the Sun clan's master very disappointed. However, they had no other choice. Hong Ting was already under Ning Yu's control, and the Sun Clan's master was not very strong. Not long after, more than 10 martial artists stood behind Zhao Tai. Enough! Zhao Fuqiang stood up from the chair and looked around the hall. Other than the Sun Clan and the Hong Clan, the rest can leave. I won't make things difficult for you. This. Hearing Zhao Fuqiang's words, the few second-rate clan masters who had pledged their allegiance to Ningyu all hesitated. They had already pledged their allegiance to Ningyu. If Ningyu did not leave, how would they dare to leave? Sha. However, there was still a second-rate clan master who chose to betray Ningyu when it was a matter of life and death. Hu clan master, Hu Fei. Although he wanted to live, Hu Fei did not leave right away. He cupped his fists at Ningyu and said, "There are some matters in the clan that I would like to go back and take care of." There is indeed something that needs to be taken care of. Ningyu nodded and said calmly, "You can leave. I won't make things difficult for you." Ningyu's reaction surprised Hu Fei. Although he was surprised, Hu Fei was overjoyed. Based on Hu Fei's guess, Ningyu must be afraid of Zhao Fuqiang. Otherwise, why would he let him leave? "Thank you." Hu Fei expressed his gratitude before turning around and walking out. Swoosh. However, Ningyu did not move, but Hong Ting, who was beside him, moved. Chapter 2293. What do you mean? Hu Fei stared coldly at Hong Ting and said in a low voice, "Ningyu asked me to leave. Are you going to stop me?" "Cut the crap. If you want to leave, leave one of your legs behind." Hong Ting waved his hand and said, not bothering to argue with Hu Fei, "Don't go too far." Hu Fei clenched his fists and said fiercely, "I am. What are you going to do about it?" Hong Ting shrugged and said, "If you know what's good for you, then stay put. Or else, I'll show you what cruelty is." Sha. As if they had guessed Ningyu's true intentions, the other 4 second-rate clans' patriarchs exchanged glances with each other before standing in front of Hu Fei. It was obvious. They wanted to use Hu Fei as a sacrifice. "Hu Fei, you don't know what's good for you." "That's right. Since you've pledged your allegiance to Ningyu, you shouldn't be half-hearted. Why are you wasting your breath on him? Even if Ningyu doesn't kill a piece of trash like him, I won't let him go. Go. Kill this traitor." Whoosh. The 4 clan heads of the second-tier clans did not hesitate at all. They dashed out in an instant. Each of them used their trump cards and tried to kill Hu Fei in one hit. Proof of allegiance. The 4 of them wanted to use Hu Fei as a proof of allegiance and join Ningyu's camp. Looking at the 4 martial artists charging at him, Hu Fei's pupils shrank and his heart sank. His strength wasn't too strong. In a one-on-one fight, he might not even be able to win, let alone against 4 powerful patriarchs. Whoosh. In the nick of time, 2 silhouettes appeared in front of Hu Fei. Zhao Tai and Elder Zhao. Hu Fei is someone the Zhao family wants to protect. Elder Zhao's attitude was unyielding as he said proudly, "Let's see who dares to touch him." The patriarchs of the 4 second-rate families hesitated. They turned around and looked at Ningyu, wanting to seek his opinion. Looking at the situation, as long as Ningyu nodded, even if the other party was from the Zhao family, they would still attack. "You guys can leave first." Ningyu casually waved his hand, signaling the 4 patriarchs to step back. Now that the matter had escalated to the level of the Zhao family, these second-rate family heads were no longer of any use. The Zhao clan was one of the top 3 clans in Kuan-Su City. Kuan-Su City would tremble with a slight stomp of his foot. "Thank you." The 4 patriarchs felt as if they had been pardoned from a great crime, and hurriedly retreated behind Ningyu. "Could it be that you want to become enemies with the Zhao clan?" Elder Zhao stared at Ningyu coldly and said, "The Zhao family is in Kuan-Su City." Without waiting for Elder Zhao to finish speaking, Ningyu said indifferently, "I said that I would let Hu Fei go, so I definitely won't go back on my word." As for the conflict between Hu Fei and Hong Ting, what does it have to do with me? Good, very good, very good. Elder Zhao gritted his teeth in anger. Ningyu was obviously quibbling. Without his permission, would Hong Ting dare to stop Hu Fei? But now, Ningyu had directly pushed the blame to Hong Ting. Let's exchange a few blows. Elder Zhao stomped on the ground and rushed towards Ningyu. The immortal qi in his body gathered on his fist, and a violent immortal qi gale smashed towards Ningyu's head. Bang! It was a critical moment. Ningyu naturally raised his right hand and collided with Elder Zhao's fist. The two collided. Ningyu stood where he was without moving. On the other hand, Elder Zhao retreated a few feet and only stopped when he was out of the hall. Blood spurted out of his mouth. Elder Zhao's peak stage divine, immortal aura instantly dropped to the freezing point. Courting death. Seeing that Elder Zhao was defeated, Zhao Tai growled and also clenched his right fist, punching out. Bang! The same action, the same outcome. Ningyu casually threw out a punch. Zhao Tai was like a kite with a broken string, following Elder Zhao's footsteps and falling heavily outside the hall. Not bad. Zhao Fuqiang had been paying attention to the changes in Ningyu's aura. He realized that when Ningyu attacked, there was no obvious change in his aura. It seemed very stable. In other words, Ningyu's strength was very likely to be on the same level as him. He was ranked around 20th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. If Ningyu could also be ranked this way, it would be difficult for him to take Hong Su and Sun Hao away today. Are you interested in joining the Zhao clan? Zhao Fuqiang thought of a countermeasure. He immediately extended an olive branch to Ningyu. Was Ningyu strong? Very strong. Even he did not dare to say that he could definitely beat him. However, so what if he was strong? As long as he tricked him into joining the Zhao clan, he could do whatever he wanted to him. What benefits can the Zhao clan give me? Ningyu raised his eyebrows and said indifferently. The Zhao clan is one of the 3 great clans of Kuan-Su City. If you join the Zhao clan, no one will dare to touch you in Kuan-Su City. Zhao Fuqiang said loudly. Ningyu did not answer. Instead, he glanced at Su He casually. Swish. Zhao Fuqiang's face darkened when he saw the change in Ningyu's eyes. The Su clan was also one of the 3 great clans of Kuan-Su City. Could it be that Ningyu had already joined the Su clan? The more Zhao Fuqiang thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. I can give you a lot of cultivation resources, Zhao Fuqiang said. Moreover, your position in the Zhao clan will be the same as mine. You will be second only to me and above everyone else. It sounds very tempting. Ningyu did not directly reject Zhao Fuqiang. Instead, he pointed at Sun Hao and Hong Su who were lying on the ground like dead dogs and said, "Give me both of them and I will consider joining the Zhao clan." Don't you think that's a little too much? Zhao Fuqiang's face turned extremely cold. The reason why he promised to let Ningyu join the Zhao clan was to ensure that he could get Sun Hao and Hong Su. Now that Ningyu wanted to compete with him, how could he let him get what he wanted? Then there's nothing to talk about. Ningyu shrugged and put on an indifferent expression. You're the first person in Kuan-Su City who dares to offend the Zhao clan, Zhao Fuqiang said coldly. Oh? It's my honor, Ningyu said casually. Half an hour left. Ningyu secretly calculated the time as he conversed with Zhao Fuqiang. Ning Lu had said that it would take an hour to refine the world branch trunk. Zhao Fuqiang did not dare to take the initiative anyway. It seemed like an hour would pass very quickly. As long as the hour passed, Ningyu would snatch Hong Su and Sun Hao away without Zhao Fuqiang's help. Ningyu, why don't we work together to kill him? The double-horned demonic beast was obviously anxious. He slowly came to Ningyu's side and said in a low voice, "You can have the 2 people lying on the ground. Leave this Zhao Fuqiang to me." What wishful thinking! Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, Zhao Fuqiang was ranked around 20th on the Heaven Monarch substitute list, while Sun Hao and Hong Su were ranked 26th and 24th respectively. Even though it was only a difference of 4 or 5 ranks, when combined, even if Sun Hao and Hong Su were added together, they would not be as terrifying as the energy contained in Zhao Fuqiang's body. "Why don't you look behind Zhao Fuqiang?" Ningyu said indifferently. Swish. Chapter 2294. What happened? Hearing this, the twin-horned demonic beast shifted its gaze behind Zhao Fuqiang. The twin-horned demonic beast sucked in a breath of cold air as soon as it did so. Heavenly Lord! Although there was nothing behind Zhao Fuqiang, the twin-horned demonic beast's keen senses could still detect that there was an extremely terrifying existence hidden in the void behind Zhao Fuqiang. Without a doubt, the martial artist hidden in the void had reached the terrifying heavenly monarch realm. Could it be the strongest person in the Zhao family, Zhao Hai? The twin-horned demonic beast wore a grave expression. There was a reason why the Zhao clan could become one of the 3 great clans of Kuan-Su City. The standard of a first-rate clan was to have a heaven monarch expert in the clan at all times. Zhao Fuqiang was the second-ranked expert in the Zhao clan. His cultivation had dropped from the Heaven Monarch realm to around the 20th rank on the Heaven Monarch substitute list. From this, there must be another Heavenly Lord in the Zhao family. Let's hurry up and escape. The twin-horned demonic beast's eyes swiveled as it searched for an escape route. Fight with a Lord of Heaven? He didn't want to die yet. Although he was ranked around 20th on the Heaven Lord substitute list, he still had no chance of winning against a Heaven Lord. Why are you panicking? Ningyu rolled his eyes at the double-horned demonic beast and said in a low voice, "You only know one thing, not the other." Second? What other reason could there be? The twin-horned demonic beast was puzzled. The martial artist hiding in the void is indeed a Lord of Heaven. However, he did not come here in person. Ningyu explained. Whoosh! The twin-horned demonic beast's body trembled, and it unleashed its perception once more. After carefully probing for a while, the twin-horned demonic beast's worry lessened slightly. Ningyu was right. The expert hidden in the void was indeed not the main body, but a clone. Although the Heaven Monarch realm expert's clone was very powerful, at least they had a chance to escape. Hey, Ningyu, what do you think Zhao Hai's doppelganger's ranking is on the Heavenly Lord substitute list? The double-horned demonic beast regained its composure and asked Ningyu in a low voice. Around 15. Ningyu said casually. I can't believe it. The double-horned demonic beast's eyes widened as it cursed. 15? What the F***ck was the point of fighting? His cultivation was only around the 25th place on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Facing 15 experts, he still didn't even have the chance to escape. Ningyu, hold them off for now. I'll go ask Master for help. The twin-horned demonic beast wanted to flee. No problem. Even if you stay, you'll be useless. You won't be of much help. Ningyu shrugged and revealed an indifferent attitude. What do you mean? Ningyu's reaction made the twin-horned demonic beast feel ashamed. In any case, he was ranked around 25th on the Heaven Monarch substitute list. Why did he become a burden and a piece of trash in Ningyu's words? Furthermore, he represented not only himself but also Rong Tianjun. If he left now, where would he put his face the next time he met Rong Tianjun? Nothing. I just feel that I might not need you anymore. Ningyu's expression was calm as he moved his feet and walked straight towards Zhao Fuqiang. Soon, Ningyu came in front of Zhao Fuqiang and said lightly, What's your decision? Give me Hong Su and Sun Hao, and I'll go back to the Zhao family with you. You seem very confident. Zhao Fuqiang regained his composure and said, In the entire Kuan-Su city, you're the first person who dares to bargain with me. The first? Ningyu raised his eyebrows. I can give you Sun Hao, but not Hong Su. Zhao Fuqiang seemed to have made a compromise. He said loudly, I have a deep hatred for Hong Su. I must refine him into a puppet. You seem to be worried about something. Ningyu curled his lips and said lightly, Now that things have come to this, you can ask the person behind you to come out. Zhao Fuqiang obviously didn't know what Ningyu meant. The person behind him? In this trip to the Hong family, he was the only peak expert of the Zhao family. Who could be behind him? Buzz. But at this time, the void trembled as an old man slowly appeared in front of everyone. Zhao Hai. Seeing the old man, Ningyu and the others didn't have much of a reaction. Zhao Fuqiang exclaimed, Didn't you have something important to do? Why are you here? Humph. If I didn't come, you wouldn't be able to escape today. Zhao Hai coldly snorted. Then he turned to look at Ningyu and said, You're indeed strong, but it's not wise to offend the Zhao family. Are all villains like this? Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, If you came with your real body, I might be afraid. But you came with a clone. Do you think I'm afraid of you? My clone will still kill you. Zhao Hai shouted. Then he stepped on the ground and rushed towards Ningyu. Chi-chi. Zhao Hai's speed was so fast that the friction with the air made a chi-chi sound. In the blink of an eye, Zhao Hai appeared in front of Ningyu. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched Ningyu's head with a violent gale. The power of a heavenly monarch's clone was indeed extraordinary. Facing Zhao Hai's attack, Ningyu didn't dare to be careless. He extended his right hand and collided with Zhao Hai's fist. The two collided. Ningyu and Zhao Hai retreated several feet at the same time. They were evenly matched in this blow. What? Seeing that Ningyu was evenly matched with Zhao Hai's clone, Zhao Fuqiang and the double-horned demonic beast exclaimed at the same time. The double-horned demonic beast was shocked because he felt that Ningyu was ridiculously strong. Zhao Fuqiang was shocked because he was a little scared. Fortunately, Zhao Hai's clone came. Otherwise, Ningyu alone would be enough to kill him. Not bad, not bad. Zhao Fuqiang patted his chest and secretly rejoiced. Your strength is okay. Zhao Hai stared coldly at Ningyu and said fiercely, I'll give you one last chance. Submit to me. Otherwise, I'll let you know the meaning of cruelty. Noisy. Ningyu bellowed. Then he gathered the immortal qi in his body on his fist and punched out. Since he was going to fight, he had to finish it quickly. After all, Zhao Hai's main body was a heavenly monarch. If he angered Zhao Hai and made him bring his main body here at all costs, the consequences would be unimaginable. Good timing. Seeing Ningyu charging towards him, Zhao Hai did not retreat. Instead, he punched out. Bang. The second move. The result was the same. Ningyu and Zhao Hai were still evenly matched. Damn it. Zhao Hai cursed inwardly because he couldn't defeat Ningyu in 2 moves. His main body was meeting with an important person, so he couldn't come. Otherwise, even if Ningyu's strength doubled today, Ningyu would still be bound to be domineeringly killed by him. Let's go. Chapter 2295. This, Zhao Hai's sudden retreat left the twin-horned demon beast scratching its head in confusion. 2 moves in a row. Zhao Hai was clearly evenly matched with Ningyu. Under such circumstances, he really couldn't understand why Zhao Hai would suddenly retreat. Whoosh. However, the next moment, the twin-horned monster instantly understood. A figure suddenly sprang out from the red demon sword. Ning Lu. The twin-horned monster recognized this warrior who had suddenly appeared. It was none other than Ning Lu. His strength, feeling the terrifying aura emanating from Ning Lu, the twin-horned monster's pupils shrank. The twin-horned monster clearly remembered that before Ning Lu had entered the red demon sword, his strength wasn't particularly heaven-defying. But now, Ning Lu gave him an unfathomable feeling. Block him for me. Seeing that Ning Lu was about to catch up to him, Zhao Hai flicked his wrist and directly threw Zhao Fuqiang out. Zhao Fuqiang was instantly dumbfounded. He would never have imagined that Zhao Hai would use him as a shield. One must know that in the Zhao family, he was ranked second among the peerless geniuses. Was Zhao Hai not afraid that he would resist? Get lost! While Zhao Fuqiang was thinking, Ning Lu had already arrived in front of him. With a punch, he directly sent him flying. Then, Ning Lu no longer cared about him, turning to chase after Zhao Hai. Submit or die. Before one wave had even subsided, another wave arose. Zhao Fuqiang was just feeling happy for Ning Lu's departure when Ning Yu's indifferent words rang in his ears. I choose to submit. After thinking for only 3 seconds, Zhao Fuqiang chose to submit. Zhao Fuqiang was not a fool. Since Zhao Hai had chosen to betray him, then submitting to Ning Yu was not a big deal. Since he could no longer return to the Zhao family, he might as well join forces with Ning Yu to resist Zhao Hai. To be honest, Zhao Fuqiang's straightforward submission surprised Ning Yu. Although he was surprised, Ning Yu said in a clear voice, "Relax your mind." Whoosh! Zhao Fuqiang relaxed on the spot and acted as if he was ready to be trampled upon. Ning Yu separated a wisp of soul power from his body and easily entered Zhao Fuqiang's heart. Very good. Slightly activating his soul power, Ning Yu found that Zhao Fuqiang's whole body was twitching, showing a painful expression. Xiao! Ning Yu didn't stay on the spot for too long before he tore space apart and chased after them. Ning Lu had swallowed the world tree branch, and his overall strength had increased a lot. However, Zhao Hai only sent his avatar. If his true body came, Ning Lu would definitely be at a disadvantage. Under such circumstances, Ning Yu naturally had to help Ning Lu. Rumble! In the void, Zhao Hai and Ning Lu were still fighting. After swallowing the tree branch of the world, Ning Lu's ranking on the Lord of Heaven substitute list had reached the same level as that of Ning Yu. He was even a few ranks higher than Ning Yu. There was no doubt that Ning Lu had the upper hand against Zhao Hai, who was only a clone. If you piss me off, my true body will come and kill you. Zhao Hai's face was cold as he forced Ning Lu to retreat. Not to mention that your true body is not here. Even if your true body is here, I will still kill you. Ning Lu said proudly. Ha ha ha! Zhao Hai seemed to have heard the funniest joke in the world. He threw his head back and laughed. Then he said, "My true body is a Lord of Heaven. Killing trash like you is easier than killing a dog." Really? At this moment, Ning Yu tore space apart and appeared. Looking at Zhao Hai indifferently, Ning Yu said, "If my guess is right, your true body should be trapped somewhere. Otherwise, your true body should have come long ago." "So what?" Zhao Hai said coldly. "Nothing. I just want to tell you that Zhao Fuqiang has surrendered to me and is now returning to the Zhao family. He wants to join forces with the Zhao family to deal with you." Ning Yu touched his nose and showed an indifferent attitude. How dare he? Zhao Hai was furious. He was the ancestor of the Zhao family. Without his orders, who in the Zhao family would dare to listen to Zhao Fuqiang? Why wouldn't I dare? I see that you are strong, so I want to give you a chance to live. Ning Yu said indifferently, "Open your mind and surrender to me." "It turns out that you want me to surrender to you," Zhao Hai said coldly. "I am just a clone. Even if I surrender to you, it will not help." "Haha, although you are only a doppelganger, if my guess is correct, this doppelganger of yours is very special," Ning Yu said with a faint smile. Swish! Zhao Hai's face was gloomy. He didn't expect that he would be discovered by Ning Yu even though he hid so deeply. This feeling was worse than eating **T. At most, I will fight to the death. Zhao Hai didn't want to surrender. His body gradually expanded. As a Lord of Heaven, Zhao Hai still wanted to save face. If Ning Yu was a Lord of Heaven, it would be reasonable for him to surrender. However, Ning Yu wasn't a Lord of Heaven. He wasn't even a Saint Celestial. How could a lord of heaven like him surrender to a half-step saint celestial? As you wish. Ning Yu and Ning Lu looked at each other and attacked at the same time. Boom. Boom. Whether it was Ning Yu or Ning Lu, their combined strength was slightly stronger than Zhao Hai's clone. Zhao Hai naturally had no way to resist the two of them working together. Zhao Hai only lasted for 3 minutes before he was defeated. Bang! The sound of a body hitting the ground was heard. Zhao Hai's face was cold as he said fiercely, "Just you wait. Once my main body is free, the two of you will be the first to be killed." Red Demon Sword. Ningyu couldn't be bothered with Zhao Hai's nonsense. He took out the Red Demon Sword and stabbed it at Zhao Hai's neck. Whoosh! 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 A terrifying devouring force shot out from the Red Demon Sword. Soon, Zhao Hai's avatar was devoured into a pile of human skin. The violent energy also entered Ning Yu's body through the Red Demon Sword. Oh no! Ning Yu's expression changed slightly when he sensed the increase in energy in his body. What's wrong? Ning Lu asked. I can sense that the great saint immortal tribulation is coming. Ning Yu's expression was extremely grave. Although the success rate of transcending the great saint immortal tribulation was high, it was not suitable. First of all, this was Kuan-Su City. Transcending the tribulation here would definitely attract many powerhouses to watch. The best way was to leave Kuan-Su City and find a safe place to transcend the tribulation. However, it was not very wise to leave Kuan-Su City now. Ningyu was in a dilemma. Go back. Ningyu gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice, I have a lot of energy in my body. I need another source of energy to balance it. What Ningyu needed to do now was to maintain the energy in his body at a stable point. Otherwise, it would definitely attract the attention of the Saint Immortal Tribulation. Maintaining energy was easier said than done. The energy in Zhao Hai's clone was extremely terrifying. Even if he devoured Sun Hao and Hong Su, he might not be able to balance it. Boom. Boom. However, as soon as Ningyu returned to the Hong family, he found Hong Su and Sun Hao lying on the ground. They had turned into human skin. Chapter 2296. Save me. Seeing that Ningyu had returned, the twin-horned demonic beast was overjoyed, and it hurriedly said, Zhao Fuqiang burned the Heaven Monarch's quintessence and forcefully devoured Sun Hao and Hong Su, breaking free from your control over him. Whoosh! Ningyu's expression turned grave when he heard the twin-horned demonic beast's words. Burning the Heaven Monarch's origin meant that Zhao Fuqiang had been forced to the edge of the cliff. You should know. Once Zhao Fuqiang lost the Heaven Monarch origin, it meant that if he wanted to return to the Heaven Monarch realm, he would need to condense the origin again. How difficult was it to condense the Heavenly Monarch's source? Even top geniuses wouldn't dare to say that they could condense it whenever they wanted, let alone Zhao Fuqiang. You could say so. By doing so, Zhao Fuqiang had completely given up his plan to become a Lord of Heaven again. Ningyu, this is all thanks to you, so I've decided to give you a big present. Zhao Fuqiang's face was cold as he waved his hand. The two-horned demonic beast, the Dark Emperor, Hong Yu and the rest flew towards him. Come here, kneel before me, or I'll take their lives. Zhao Fuqiang took a step forward and said fiercely, You cut off my path to becoming a Lord of Heaven. I will make you live in guilt for the rest of your life. Ningyu, run. That's right, hurry up and leave. Don't worry about us. Where there's life, there's hope. Zhao Fuqiang's current comprehensive strength is even more terrifying than Zhao Hai's doppelganger. Don't listen to Zhao Fuqiang's nonsense. Even if you kneel before him, he will never let us go. It was as if he was afraid that Ningyu would do something stupid. Hong Yu, the Dark Emperor and the others all shouted with all their might. Noisy! Zhao Fuqiang growled and raised his right hand to slap Hong Yu's cheek. But it was a critical moment. Ningyu moved. With both feet on the ground, Ningyu came to Hongyue in an instant. Xiao Qin waved his right hand and clashed with Zhao Fuqiang's palm. As the two collided, Ningyu and Zhao Fuqiang both took several steps back. This blow. Ningyu and Zhao Fuqiang were evenly matched. Why are you so strong? After stabilizing his body, Zhao Fuqiang clenched his fists and stared coldly at Ningyu. Tell me, did you control Zhao Hai's avatar? Around 10th place on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Without answering Zhao Fuqiang's question, Ningyu rubbed his slightly swollen palm and said indifferently, "You've saved me a lot of trouble by devouring Sun Hao and Hong Su." Before devouring Zhao Hai's clone, Ningyu could only flee when facing Zhao Fuqiang, who was in the top 10 of the Heaven Monarch substitute list. However, after devouring Zhao Hai's avatar, Ningyu's overall strength had more than doubled. Putting aside the fact that Zhao Fuqiang could squeeze into the 10th place on the Heavenly Monarch substitute list, even if he could squeeze into the 9th or even the 8th place, Ningyu would still be fearless, because Ningyu's current strength was enough to rank 7th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Arrogant! Zhao Fuqiang shouted in a low voice. I gave up the opportunity to become a Heavenly Lord just to kill you with my own hands. Today, no one can help you. Swish. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Fuqiang turned into a shadow and suddenly drilled into the void. Seeing Zhao Fuqiang disappear, Ningyu did not panic. Instead, he turned to Ning Lu and said, I'll deal with Zhao Fuqiang. You go and remove the control on the Dark Emperor and the others. Understood. Be careful. Ning Lu nodded and immediately rushed towards the Dark Emperor. As for Ningyu, he stood where he was with his eyes slightly closed. Crack! In an instant, the void in front of Ningyu cracked. A fist containing terrifying energy fluctuations suddenly smashed towards his head. The power of this punch had reached its peak. If Ningyu was hit by the fist, his head would probably explode on the spot. You've put in a lot of effort to kill me. Ningyu abruptly opened his eyes when he sensed the fist coming at him. Die. Zhao Fuqiang's low voice rang in Ningyu's ears. As he spoke, Zhao Fuqiang increased the power of this punch again, trying to kill Ningyu with one move. However, just as Zhao Fuqiang's fist was about to hit Ningyu's head, Ningyu's figure gradually became illusory. Oh no! The sudden change made Zhao Fuqiang's expression change greatly. I'm here. An indifferent and emotionless voice came from behind Zhao Fuqiang. Swish. Hearing that, Zhao Fuqiang hurriedly turned around. Hiss. Zhao Fuqiang sucked in a breath of cold air when he turned around, because he found that a fist was gradually enlarging in his pupils. Damn it! Zhao Fuqiang cursed. While retreating, he gathered the divine qi in his body on his fist and punched back. Crack! A crisp sound was heard. This time, Ningyu stood on the spot without moving, whereas Zhao Fuqiang retreated an entire 10 meters back, and he only stopped when he collided with the ground. Ningyu, we'll meet again. Zhao Fuqiang knew that he was no match for Ningyu. Therefore, he immediately decided to escape. Of course, before escaping, Zhao Fuqiang did not forget to say some harsh words. However, sometimes life and death were decided in an instant. If Zhao Fuqiang had not said those harsh words and delayed for a few seconds, he might have been able to escape. Because of the few seconds he delayed, Ningyu suddenly appeared in front of him with the red demon sword in his hand. Poof! The red demon sword suddenly stabbed out. The sword pierced into Zhao Fuqiang's heart. Devour! Ningyu did not stay idle. The devouring power in his body surged out wildly and entered Zhao Fuqiang's heart through the red demon sword. Whoosh! Endless energy entered Ningyu's body through the red demon sword. Suppress! Ningyu hurriedly set up a small formation around him. Then, he sat down cross-legged and began to consume Zhao Fuqiang's energy. As there was the energy of Zhao Hai's clone in his body, Ningyu needed to find enough energy to harmonize with it. Otherwise, It would not be long before Ning Yu underwent the saint immortal tribulation. Boom! As soon as the two energies came into contact, a huge conflict broke out. Fortunately, Ning Yu was prepared and left a seal between the two energies. Otherwise, just the shock wave of the two energies would be enough to make him fail. On the other side, Ning Yu was maintaining the stability of the two energies. On the other side, Ning Lu was helping the Dark Emperor and the others break the seal in their bodies. After Zhao Fuqiang controlled the Dark Emperor and the others, he left a terrifying seal in each of them. Originally, Zhao Fuqiang wanted to use the Dark Emperor and the others to threaten Ning Yu. However, for some reason, he seemed to have lost his mind and attacked Ning Yu. In the end, he suffered a grievance. Ning Lu was very strong, and his main body was the World Tree. Helping the Dark Emperor and the others break the seal in their bodies didn't consume too much strength. All right. In just 10 minutes, the seal in the Dark Emperor and Scarlet Moon's bodies was removed. Phew! Feeling the seal in their bodies being broken, the Dark Emperor and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Honestly, when there was a seal in their bodies, the Dark Emperor and the others even thought of committing suicide to avoid burdening Ning Yu. Fortunately, Ning Yu defeated Zhao Fuqiang and Ning Lu helped them break the seal. This little bastard is really lucky. No one noticed. Chapter 2297. Ning Yu did not know about Su He's evil thoughts. He was trying his best to maintain the stability of the two energies in his body. To Ning Yu, after devouring Zhao Hai's clone, he could be ranked 7th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Now, after devouring Zhao Fuqiang, he could be ranked 6th on the Heavenly Lord substitute list. However, this was not Ning Yu's final goal. Once he stabilized the two energies in his body, Ning Yu was confident that he could squeeze into the top 5 of the Heavenly Lord substitute list. Bang! Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, an hour had passed. When a muffled sound came from Ning Yu's body, Ning Yu's nervous expression finally eased. Phew! Ning Yu let out a breath of turbid air and looked happy. This hour was not in vain. Although he had stabilized the two energies in his body, Ning Yu did not lose his mind. He knew that the most important thing was not to be happy, but to deal with the matter in front of him first. The Hong clan's patriarch, Hong Su, and the Sun clan's patriarch, Sun Hao, were all dead. At this moment, everyone from the Sun clan and the Hong clan were like headless flies. Under such circumstances, what Ning Yu needed to do was to do everything possible to integrate the Sun clan, the Hong clan, and the other clans. As far as he knew, the Su clan was the leader of the 3 great clans in Kuan-Su City. Ning Yu did not waste any time. He returned to the main hall and glanced at everyone. He then said in a deep voice, "I have decided to establish a force called Supreme Palace." Thump! Hong Ting was very sensible. As soon as Ning Yu's voice fell, he suddenly knelt on the ground and said in a clear voice, "Master, I am willing to join Supreme Palace. From now on, I will listen to your orders." Old Fox. Seeing Hong Ting's performance, the other 4 second-rate clans' patriarchs all cursed. Ning Yu's performance just now had made them completely surrender. He had killed 2 Zhao clan's patriarchs by himself. Now that Ning Yu wanted to establish Supreme Palace, they had to support him immediately. "We are also willing to join Supreme Palace." The heads of the 4 second-rate clans looked at each other and knelt in front of Ning Yu. They said, "Also, let the members of the clans join the Supreme Hall and become a member." "Very good." Ning Yu nodded his head and said, "I will give you all 1 day. After 1 day, I want to see a complete Supreme Palace." "Yes." Hong Ting and the 4 family heads answered in unison. Next, Ning Yu briefly introduced the structure of Supreme Palace, then left the Hong family with the Dark Emperor, Ning Lu, and the others. "Who?" Hong Ting and the others heaved a sigh of relief when Ning Yu and the others left. To be honest, the pressure that Ning Yu gave them was too great. With Ning Yu around, They didn't even dare to breathe heavily. Ningyu, aren't you worried that Hong Ting and the others will betray us? On the streets of Kuan-Su City, Su-he rolled his eyes and said, I know Hong Ting very well. He's an ingrate. Once he gets the chance, he'll definitely betray us. Russell. Ningyu stopped and turned to look at Su-he. He said with interest, Do you want to consider joining Supreme Palace? Me? Su-he pointed at his nose and then shook his head. I'm very weak. I'll only be a burden if I join Supreme Palace. Humph. Don't try to be smart. Ningyu snorted and said coldly, You better hope that you have a good relationship with Su-ing. Otherwise, you should know the consequences. A trace of panic flashed through Su-he's eyes when he heard Ningyu's threatening words. However, this trace of panic was well hidden by Su-he. He patted his chest and promised, I do have a good relationship with Su-ing. Don't worry. When we get to the Su family, I'll find a way for you to get close to her. Ningyu, I don't recommend going to the Su family now. As if worried about this trip to the Su family, Ning Lu said in a deep voice, The Su family is the leader of the 3 major families in Kuan-Su City. It's easy to imagine how powerful they are. If we just barge in like this, we'll inevitably encounter unnecessary trouble. Who told you we're barging in? Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, With Su-he leading the way, we can easily enter the Su family. Him? Ning Lu pointed at Su-he and said in disdain, This brat definitely has bad intentions. I suspect that he'll definitely betray us when we get to the Su family. That's a problem. Ningyu frowned and fell into deep thought. Seeing the change in Ningyu's expression, Su-he hurriedly said, It's not a problem. How can it be a problem? I, Su-he, have always been honest and upright. I'll never betray anyone. Su-he said this righteously. Those who didn't know might really be tricked by him. This is simple. The double-horned demonic beast spat out a mouthful of saliva and handed it to Su-he, saying, Swallow it. If you didn't betray Ningyu, I will naturally give you the antidote 3 days later. However, if you betray Ningyu, he, even if a Heaven Monarch expert appears, they will not be able to stop you. I can't save you either. Su-he's expression became ugly. He knew that Ningyu wouldn't let him off so easily, but he hadn't expected that he would be forced to swallow the saliva of the twin-horned demonic beast. What, you don't want to? The double-horned demonic beast raised its eyebrows and said indifferently, It's fine if you don't want to. People like you will definitely betray their friends. It's better to kill you now and put an end to all troubles. Whoosh. During the conversation, the twin-horned demonic beast's figure flashed and arrived in front of the Void River. Then, it used its head to ram into the Void River. I'll swallow. Seeing the twin-horned monster that kept attacking him, Su-he couldn't care less. He immediately threw his saliva into his mouth. Gulp. He swallowed his saliva. Su-he let out a burp. Then, Su-he's cheeks turned black. Fortunately, Su-he's cheeks did not turn black for too long and soon returned to normal. Otherwise, Su-he wouldn't even have tears to cry. Not bad. The twin-horned demonic beast was very satisfied with the change in Su-he's expression. It nodded and said, Kid, you better behave yourself. Don't think of finding someone to break it. Otherwise, you'll be the one suffering. I won't. How can I find someone to break it? Su-he revealed a bitter expression. Dark Emperor, Ning Lu, the 2 of you enter the Red Devil Sword first. Ningyu waved his hand and instructed, I'll go to the Su clan alone. The 2 of you don't need to come out for now. Alright. Be careful. Ning Lu and the Dark Emperor didn't give Ningyu any trouble. Their figures flashed and entered the Red Devil Sword. What about me? The twin-horned demonic beast was puzzled. Do you still need me to tell you? Of course, you'll go wherever you want. You're such a big target. It's hard to avoid being discovered. Ningyu rolled his eyes at the twin-horned demonic beast and immediately moved toward the Su clan. I don't want to see you. Ning Yu's act of burning the bridge after crossing it caused the twin-horned demonic beast to curse. Bang! Chapter 2298. This, the twin-horned demonic beast's unreasonable request made Su-he hesitate. His original plan was to enter the Su clan and find a heavenly monarch expert to help him get rid of the control in his body. However, the twin-horned demonic beast's request to hide in his body put him in a difficult position. It should be known that the twin-horned demonic beast was also very powerful. Moreover, the two-legged demonic beast hiding in his body meant that no matter what he did, he could not hide from the twin-horned demonic beast. In short, with the twin-horned demonic beast around, he had to think twice before he did anything. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and open your mind. While Su-he was thinking, the twin-horned demonic beast kicked him again. All right. Su-he had no choice but to open his mind unwillingly. Swish. As soon as Su-he opened his mind, the twin-horned demonic beast turned into a shadow and hid in Su-he's body. Hiss. Su-he could not help but gasp when he sensed where the twin-horned demonic beast was hiding. Heart. The twin-horned demonic beast was hiding in his heart. In other words, as long as the twin-horned demonic beast wanted to, it could kill him at any time. Damn it. However, Su-he had no other choice at this moment. He cursed in his heart and immediately moved to chase after Ning Yu. As the leader of the three major clans of Kuan-Su City, the Su clan was located in the center of Kuan-Su City and occupied an extremely large area. Before long, Ning Yu and Su-he arrived at the main gate of the Su clan. Go away. As soon as Ning Yu and Su-he stopped, a manservant guarding the gate of the Su clan waved his hand impatiently and said coldly, "This is the Su clan's important place. No one is allowed to enter." Humph. Hearing the manservant's words, Su-he was so angry that his nose became crooked. In front of Ning Yu and the twin-horned demonic beast, he did not dare to act rashly. After all, he was weaker than Ning Yu and the twin-horned demonic beast. However, a mere gatekeeper dared to speak to him like this? Did he really think he was made of mud? Taking a step forward, Su-he suddenly released his aura and snorted. "Open your dog eyes and see who I am. I don't care who you are. The old ancestor has personally said that an esteemed guest has arrived in the Su clan today. Even if the heavenly king himself were to come, he would have to scram." The manservant's reaction was beyond Su-he's expectations. The servant took out a golden token and coldly said, "Young Master He, please. You." Su-he almost went crazy from anger. However, he still had some rationality. The servant was holding the token of the Su clan's old ancestor. The ancestor of the Su clan had once said that seeing the token was equivalent to seeing him. Therefore, no matter how unwilling Su-he was, he could only choose to endure. Su-he turned to look at Ning Yu and suggested, "Ning Yu, why don't we find a place to recuperate for a few days? After the esteemed guest from the Su clan leaves, we can— Oh, isn't this Su-he? Why are you standing at the door and not going in?" However, before Shuhei could finish his words, a sinister voice sounded in his ears. "Void Leopard." He looked in the direction of the voice. Su-he said in a deep voice, "What does it have to do with you whether I enter or not?" "Of course it has something to do with me." The lips of the man called Void Leopard curled up. "A good dog doesn't block the way. A dog that blocks the way isn't good. You're blocking my way by standing here." Su-he clenched his fists and said coldly, "Who are you calling a dog?" Void Leopard shrugged and said, "Whoever blocks my way is a dog." Ah! The cultivators behind Void Leopard all laughed mockingly. Scram! Today, the main entrance of the Su clan is only open to a few people. As for trash like you, go and crawl through the dog hole. Dog hole? In my opinion, he can't even enter the dog hole. What do you mean? It's simple. There's a dog guarding the dog hole. Do you think anyone can go in? Ha ha ha! As they spoke, another wave of laughter rang out. When had Soo-hee ever endured such humiliation? Although he couldn't enter the top 5 among the younger generation of the Soo clan, he could be ranked in the top 10. Logically speaking, even if there was an esteemed guest from the Soo clan, there was no way they wouldn't let him in through the main entrance. There was definitely something fishy about all this. Stop messing around. Void Leopard clearly didn't wish to waste time here. He took out a token from his bosom and tossed it to the manservant. But the manservant caught the token and took a look. Subsequently, he said respectfully, "Please enter. Let's go." Void Leopard moved his feet and walked straight towards the Soo clan. When he passed by Ningyu, Void Leopard paused for a moment and said indifferently, "There's no future following Soo-hee, that trash. If you are interested, you can come and look for me." Finishing this sentence, Void Leopard entered the Soo clan without even turning back. What's there to be proud about? When Void Leopard vanished from sight, Soo-hee said viciously, "Isn't it just having a father with authority? If my father is in charge of the Soo clan's elixir concoction, my strength can at least be ranked in the top 3 of the Soo clan's younger generation. Even if he doesn't have a father with authority, you are still worlds apart from him." Looking at Soo-hee, Ningyu said without any politeness, "One shouldn't look at how Void Leopard's performance was rather savage. His overall strength was abnormally formidable. On the Heavenly Monarch substitute role, Void Leopard should be able to rank in the top 500. Of course. Putting aside the fact that Void Leopard was ranked in the top 500, even if he was ranked in the top 300, or even the top 100, Ningyu was still fearless. The reason why Ningyu paid more attention to Void Leopard was that he sensed a trace of familiar aura on Void Leopard's body. Su-ying. That's right, there was Su-ying's aura on Void Leopard's body. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu walked towards the manservant guarding the door step by step. "What are you trying to do?" Seeing Ningyu walking towards him, the manservant said in a cold voice, "Quickly stop for me. Otherwise, don't blame me for not being courteous. Don't do anything foolish." Ningyu's actions made Soo-hee turn pale with fright as he hurriedly reminded. The manservant had the Patriarch's token in his hand. Seeing the token was akin to seeing the Patriarch. Soo-hee was afraid that Ningyu would infuriate the Patriarch and implicate him. Otherwise, how could he stop Ningyu? "Let us in and I won't expose the shady business between you and Void Leopard." Ningyu's expression was calm as he transmitted his voice to the manservant. Swish. Hearing that, the manservant's eyes flickered and a raging wave rose in his heart. He stopped Soo-hee from entering the Soo family because he was instructed by Void Leopard. No matter what, Soo-hee was also a top 10 absolute genius in the Soo family. Without anyone backing him up, how could he, a manservant guarding the door, dare to offend Soo-hee? "I don't know what you're talking about." After thinking for a moment, the manservant said in a deep voice, "My duty is to guard here and prevent all thieves from entering the Soo family. Since you have no ill intentions towards the Soo family, I'll let you in." Soo-hee was completely dumbfounded and his face was filled with black lines. He did not expect that he, a top 10 absolute genius in the Soo family, would be blocked outside. And Ningyu, who was not a member of the Soo family, was actually allowed in. Sha. Ningyu did not care about Soo-hee and entered the Soo family directly. As for Soo-hee, you're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.